Northern Light Webcasting Network presents Cowboy Kickoff, a look at today's Northern Light Cowboys game. And now, out to the stadium, and the voice of the Cowboys, Rick Olson.
Good evening and welcome to historic Carson Park. Rick Olson here along with Christopher Sturz, and we're getting ready to bring you semi-pro football action. Tonight, the Cowboys will do battle with the Northern Elite Football League powerhouse Northland Bulls. Last week, the Cowboys evened up their season record at 1 win and 1 loss following a 22-6 victory over the Fox Valley Force over in Green Bay. The Bulls come into tonight's game with a record of 1 win and no losses after they defeated the Minnesota Storm 34-0. So the stage is set for some exciting football action, and we'll have it all for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Coming up in this edition of Cowboy Kickoff, we'll take a closer look at today's opponent, the Northland Bulls. Then Christopher will have a chat with one of the Cowboy players in Cowboy Profile. Then we'll get the coach's perspective on tonight's game with Coach's Corner. And finally, Christopher and I will make sure you're prepared with all you need to know before tonight's game. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Kickoff on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Rick Olson back here at Carson Park getting ready to bring you tonight's game between the Northern Light Cowboys and the NEFL powerhouse Northland Bulls. The Northland Bulls have been a playoff mainstay in the Northern Elite Football League almost every year since their inception in 2012. In fact, that 2012 season is the only season the Bulls failed to make it to the league playoffs. Their highest finish was in 2017 when they were in the Elite Bowl, where they fell to league champion Fargo Invaders, a team that the Bulls will try to get revenge on when they meet on June 1st. The Bulls were founded in 2012 in Cottage Grove, Minnesota as the North Bank Bulls. In 2017, the Bulls moved to UW River Falls and changed their name to the Northland Bulls. This season, the Bulls, like the Cowboys, have moved to a new city and new stadium. The Bulls moved about 8 miles up the road to Hudson and now call the new Raider Stadium home. Under the leadership of team president Brock Schreiner and head coach David Hamelman, the Bulls have posted a regular season record in 2018 of 5 wins and 4 losses before bowing out to the Invaders in the first round of the playoffs. Throughout team history, the Bulls have compiled a 33-28 record. Now, last weekend, the Cowboys got back on the winning side of things by posting an impressive 22-6 victory over the Fox Valley Force in a game played at Bayport Middle School in Green Bay. Unfortunately, we were unable to bring you that game, but we will have all of tonight's action right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Yet to come in this edition of Cowboy Kickoff, Christopher had a chance to sit down with Cowboy player Stoney West in a feature called Cowboy Profile. Then we'll get the coach's perspective on tonight's game with Coach's Corner. And finally, Christopher and I will make sure you're prepared with all you need to know before tonight's game. All of that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Kickoff on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Time now for Cowboy Profile, where Christopher Sturz takes a closer look at one of the Cowboy players. And now, Christopher Sturz.
Christopher Sturz here with the Northern Lights Webcasting Network, here with Stoney West. Hey, Stoney, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
You know, it's good, but happy to have you here. Of course, this is your... How many years have you been with the Cowboys?
Ever since I started, 3 years.
3 years. And now, in that time, you guys have jumped some pretty big hurdles, of course, winning the championship last year.
Yep.
How does that feel within, sometimes it takes teams a lot of time to get to that point, but you guys were on top of that almost immediately.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, to be honest with you. You're right, when new teams, emerge, it does take them a few years, 4 or 5 years to get things clicking, but with us, with a good coaching staff and a good mentality with our players, it was able to get, that goal was able to be reached faster than most.
Now, you talk about that mentality, of course, the can-do mentality that you guys have, but also a bit of a fun mentality. You're always on the field, you're dancing when songs are playing, all that kind of thing. How important is it to make sure that you're having fun out there while also...
It's a lot. It's important. It's very important. For me especially, you have, people from the communities come out and watch you, pay good hard-earned money to come to games. It's good to give people a show. And for me, I've always been that lovable guy that everybody loves and love to see and hang around. Why not continue that on the football field?
Absolutely. Now, being on the line out there, a little bit of a different situation from receivers, running backs, that kind of thing. What kind of, how is it in that sort of versus attitude that you have when you line up from the guy across from you? Is it a little more personal, you think, than some of the other matchups that are out there?
No, not really. To be honest with you, every person I line up against, I make sure they're okay. I make sure they're having fun too. It's not, to me, football is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a grudge match against another person. We're not out here to see who's the big dog or whatever. We're just out here having fun playing a sport that we love.
Now, last year you guys had the honor of getting to play at US Bank Stadium, of course, one of the newest stadiums in the NFL. What's that like, being on a stage like that?
It was nice. To be honest with you, it was hot. With the lights being on and the dome being shut, and it was just a all-around nice experience. For me, growing up in Texas, we played in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in our high school championship playoff games. But playing in a semi-professional level and playing in a pro-level stadium like that, it was the words, I couldn't even think of the words to describe that experience. I'm just humbled and I don't know, it's words that couldn't explain, but it was great. It was a great experience for all of us, especially me. And we look forward to doing that some more too.
Awesome. Excited to see what you guys have in store this season.
Very excited, very excited. We got a lot of new talents. We got fresh faces. We got old faces. A lot of people are getting back in shape. Me personally are getting back in shape. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. So.
Good feeling to have. Stoney West, thank you so very much for being part of the Cowboys, and have a great season.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Christopher Sturz with the Northern Lights Broadcasting Network on Cowboy Profiles. Have a great season, Stoney.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Cowboy Profile, a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We'll be back with more of Cowboy Kickoff right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Kickoff on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Time now for Coach's Corner, with a look at today's game from the coach's point of view. On this edition of Coach's Corner, we're talking with Jaden Watts, the quarterback's coach for the Cowboys. And first of all, Jaden, I guess congratulations to you and the rest of the Cowboys on notching a victory last week against the Fox Valley Force.
Yeah, thank you. It was not a clean win, but it was, a hard-fought win. And, the football is, a lot of it's about grit, and we just got our job done.
Now, you were able to play a good portion of that game with your number one quarterback, Nate Samus, back at the helm, but I understand he's not going to be available this week.
Yeah, it's looking like possibly just a minor injury, and we're not quite sure what the situation's going to look like, but we'll figure it out once we get onto the field.
Now, it appeared to be a fairly well-balanced attack against the force, combination of both going through the air and on the ground. Are you looking to continue that?
That depends entirely on what our situation's going to be. As far as personnel goes, without Nate, I don't believe we have a true thrower. I mean, you got guys that can throw a ball, and then you have guys that just really can throw a ball, and Nate's definitely a high-tier player, so it's very difficult to replace somebody like that, even momentarily. So when you lose an asset, you just kind of have to roll with it and find production elsewhere.
Now, you have a couple of players on the Bulls that you're having to face on the Bulls defense, which is a well-vaunted defense. Linebacker Kyle Anderson has always been a ball hawk, a couple of pick sixes last year. So how are you going to open up your offense to kind of keep him out of the scheme?
A lot of it is going to be trying to make him move, run around, throw him out of his comfort zone, abuse as much as possible, possibly the outsides of the fields, or even just throw really big linemen at him.
Well, they've also got some pretty good-sized defensive linemen. Eugene George is one that comes to mind. UW River Falls player, number 96. He's a tough defensive lineman. He's going to keep some of those guys occupied as well.
And, I mean, you have to expect something like that every time you go into a game. You can't just go in and assume, we're bigger or, we're faster or we're more or anything like that. You have to assume that a team is as good as you are, if not better than you are, and play around that.
So who are some of the Cowboys that we should be looking for tonight as featured players?
I would keep an eye on Joshua Murray. Probably going to be a big piece. And then just kind of watch the O-line in its entirety. See if they can really get some push up front and just make something happen.
See if that Cowboy moving company can start pushing people around.
You know what? It's about time that the train just takes off.
Well, and let's see. These are the Cowboys, and since we're playing the Bulls, maybe it's time to put the Cowboy brand on the Bull.
I think that's the end goal here, yeah.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach Watts, and let's bring home a victory for the Cowboys.
All right, thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner. We'll have more of Cowboy Kickoff right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Well, we're back at Carson Park getting ready for tonight's game between the Northern Light Cowboys and the Northland Bulls. Christopher, last week the Cowboys got back on the winning track, 22-6.
Yeah, it's always good to notch your first win of the season. It really sets the stage for the rest of the season. And while it was an away game, winning away from home is always important. And you win those games away from home, and you expect to win at home. And so those away wins can really boost your morale as a team.
And it was really good to see that Nate Samus was back leading the way on offense at quarterback, and all of a sudden now the offense put 22 points on the board against a team that played last season in the Northern Elite Football League, a league that's known for high-quality teams, and that means maybe the Cowboys are back on track.
Yeah, and one of the things that really propelled them to a win last week against the Force was just how good their ground game was. You know, it's great to have Nate back as the quarterback. Of course, we're all happy to have him back. But when you have a good quarterback like Nate, it really does open things up for the running game. And especially in the second half of last week, their offense really came alive to propel them to that win.
Now this week they've got another Northern Elite Football League team. This is 3 in a row, 3 of 4 in a row of teams that were at least in the Northern Elite Football League last season. This week it's the Northland Bulls, and the Bulls have been a perpetual playoff team. They were founded back in 2012, and that's the only year they did not make the playoffs. So this is another challenge for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and it's a challenge that it'll be interesting to see them rise to. You know, it's always good to get wins against good teams and play against good teams. And so it's always good to get that challenge, especially early in the season, to still get a gauge on how you can do as a team moving forward.
Cowboys are going to have their hands full with the Bulls quarterback, number 17, Brett Schreiner. He's been one of the leading quarterbacks in the Northern Elite Football League for several seasons now, and he has a great presence and a great leadership of that team. His brother, Brock Schreiner, is the president and owner of that team, and between the two of them, they have quite a thing going. Also, the one to watch out for is a linebacker whose name escapes me right now, but he is the leading tackler.
That'd be Kyle Anderson.
Yes, Kyle Anderson, and not with 57 total tackles, I believe. Most of those are leads, and there's some assists in there as well. But on top of that, he also has 2 interceptions, both of which were returned for touchdowns, and I know those 2 interceptions very well because last year I was working with the Hudson Thunderhawks, and both of those were against us, which makes 6 of those he had in the last 2 years. So this guy is a force to be reckoned with. He is all over the place. He's got good hands, and he'll make plays.
Yeah, it's not often you get a linebacker that's a ball hawk on defense. You know, usually it's hands up, go for the deflection. But you know, Kyle Anderson is all about doing what he can to bring the ball in, secure it, and get the turnover.
And oftentimes, well, as it shows in the statistics, he doesn't just get the turnover; he gets the 6 points on top of that. There's also Savante Rosales. Also has a similar statistic, also picked up 2 interceptions last year, and both of those also got returned for touchdowns. So these guys on defense know how to smell the end zone, and the Cowboys are going to have to make sure that they don't make the mistakes they made 2 weeks ago by turning the ball over. They're going to have to protect the ball, keep the offense moving, and their defense is going to have to step up.
Yeah, and you know, when you play a team that has 2 solid linebackers like that in the middle of the field, it really does take away your ability to throw those quick slant passes right down the middle that a lot of teams rely on, especially at this level, to move the ball 5-6 yards at a time. When you've got that sort of center clogged up like that, you really takes away from your ability to do that. Now, what that does mean for the Cowboys is that does give you a chance to look to the outside a little bit more, maybe look over the top. If the other team is running a cover 2, maybe exploit that a little bit over the top where they're only getting a little bit of help from their safeties, but also to run the ball. Take the ball to the outside, run a couple of draw plays to draw off the linebackers, have them drop back in coverage a little bit before snapping the ball forward on a handoff. So a couple of ways to beat that hard coverage in the middle, but just because there's a couple of ways to do it doesn't mean it's always easy.
And granted, every season is a new season with a new makeup. That's such is the nature of semi-pro football. But last year's Bulls were a little bit susceptible to the run. Good pass coverage, but susceptible to the run, and teams were able to move the ball down the field on the ground on them, and the Cowboys have a solid running attack, and so maybe they can exploit that.
Yeah, you know, you've got guys in the backfield. You've got Uche, you've got
Sam Epps.
Epps, God, that was the name that was escaping me. Number 30, Sam Epps. You know, and we saw a couple of people take the ball a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. Each one having their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and it's up to Coach Brown and then the rest of the team to figure out what works best in those positions.
Well, I'm excited, and we've got kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. So, Christopher, why don't we strap on our game time hats, and we'll be ready to rock and roll with some real football here in just a few minutes. You've been listening to Cowboy Kickoff on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Cowboy Kickoff with a look at today's Northern Light Cowboys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Cowboy football.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone?
Do flowers have best friends?
I don't know. Hey, look. Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
No word in English language is less convincing than probably.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Cowboy football is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network proudly presents today's Northern Light Cowboys game. Join us as the 2019 Cowboys strive for success in the Champions Amateur Football League. And now, back to the stadium for coverage of today's Cowboys game.
And welcome back to Carson Park. Rick Olson along with Christopher Sturz. And Chris, are we going to get wet tonight?
You know, it's kind of looking like that. A little cloudy here in Eau Claire over Carson Park. Wind kind of blowing in that general direction of the clouds coming in. So we might get a little bit wet, but hey, nothing like a little bit of sloppy football to really get the blood going.
And there's still people coming through the gate. In fact, folks, if you're not very far from Carson Park, we're just about ready to get things started here. And so please feel free to come and join us. And if not, keep it tuned right here to the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and we'll have all the action for you. We're going to have the national anthem in just a minute or two, but meanwhile, Christopher, it looks like the injury bug has hit the Cowboys. To begin with, they have a game time decision on who the starting quarterback is going to be, and so we're not going to have Nate Samus tonight.
No, we were kind of expecting to see from him. Of course, he got a little bit roughed up in last week's game against the Force. And Josh Herberly's hurting today too, so it could be we might see a little bit of Rashawn Wallace, we might see a little bit of Daniel Hooper, we might even see Keith Richardson, who normally plays defensive back, out there behind. And
also, according to Coach Brown, maybe even Josh Murray in there at quarterback as well. In fact, when Coach Brown was telling me about that situation, I said, Coach, it's kind of like throwing the kitchen sink at him, isn't it? Well, folks, we're going to have the national anthem here in just a second. The color guard is getting close to the center of the field. The color guard, again, this week is presented by the Eau Claire County Sheriff's Department. And they are just about there, so we're just about ready for the playing of our national anthem. And we're back at Carson Park. Rick Olson along with Christopher Sturz, and that was our national anthem, of course. And we are getting closer to being ready for some football action. In fact, just a minute or so ago, the coin toss was held, and the Northland Bulls won the coin toss. They deferred their choice to the second half, so the Cowboys will be receiving the opening kickoff as the color guard returns. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll have the opening kickoff for today's game following this brief timeout. You're listening American to Ice has ice for all occasions, whether it's mixing drinks at family reunions and community events, or keeping all of your food and drinks cool at your outdoor wedding. American Ice has just what you need. Don't rely on that pesky commercial ice maker. Let American Ice make the ice for you. With 6-pound and 20-pound bags of ice, as well as 10-pound blocks of ice available, they're certain you'll find the right amount of ice for your event. That's the American Ice Company, 2234 Sunset Drive, Eau Claire. And we're back here at Carson Park and getting ready for action to get started. We're waiting for the two teams to take the field. The Bulls kickoff unit and the Cowboys kick return unit. It'll be real interesting to see what they decide to have done at the quarterback position and how that affects the offensive play call.
Yeah, and you know, they really do have a lot to work with when it comes to the depth at their quarterback. Of course, the last time the folks at home heard from us was during the season opener against the Pioneers, and they had three different quarterbacks out there on the field at that point. Rashawn Wallace, who we anticipate is probably going to be the starter today, was one of those quarterbacks, and he looked pretty good. So I would anticipate seeing a healthy dose of him today. A little bit of Daniel Hooper maybe before they dip into the defensive back core and the wide receiver core to throw the ball around.
And then, of course, there's always running some Wildcat with Josh Murray in there, and I know they were talking about that the other day, that was a possibility. So we'll see what happens, and that's all going to be happening in just a minute. The Cowboy receiving team is heading out onto the field right now, and we're still waiting for the Bulls to take the field. And we're going to get a good look at that Bulls defense, which is a well thought of defense. Let's put it that way. They've got a linebacking core that is all over the place, and we'll see what they do. Part of that linebacking core is led by Kyle Anderson. The two rosters we have here are they're too similar to each other.
Too many Northerns in there. It's,
Kyle Anderson, a linebacker, along with Brock Schreiner, who is the owner and president of the Northland Bulls, but he is still playing ball. Wears number 50, and he actually is kind of all over the field. All right, the Bulls are lined up, ready for the kickoff, and back deep to receive. Looks like maybe Willie McCaleb for the Cowboys. Along back there is DeAndre Houston.
Hey, good to see Willie out there again.
And there's the whistle. And Mike Rodriguez approaches the ball, kicks it. It's going to come down around the 10-yard line where it's picked up by Willie. And he's out across the 15 to the 20, and he's met at the 20-yard line, right at the 20-yard line, and taken down. Willie McCaleb on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at their own 20-yard line.
Not sure what happened on that play. Willie coming up, kind of looking around his guys. Where's my blocking? Really, a 10-yard gain on that could have easily been a little bit more with some extra help.
And they're going to spot it on the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at their own 21-yard line. And so now we're about to find out the answer to our question. And looks like maybe it's Josh Murray back there at the quarterback position. I know he's talking to one of the officials right now. I think they're waiting to get the ball put into play. No, it's not going to be Josh Murray.
Cowboys at their own 21.
Dari Peterson comes in. Well, he's got to be at a wideout. They've got some personnel issues going on, the Cowboys do. Trying to get the right people on the field.
Okay, Peterson running down the field as well. Of course, he normally plays linebacker.
And Hadari comes off the field. Hadari Peterson. Okay, looks like maybe they've got the right bodies on the field right now. With the quarterback questions, it does kind of domino its way down, and other players end up being a little bit out of position as well. But it looks like Murray calling the plays. Yes, Josh Murray lining up at quarterback. And the Cowboys sent 4 receivers out wide to the left side. Connor Hughesby is out wide to the right. Murray with the snap, takes off himself, goes around the right end. He's across the 20, gets run out of bounds at the 26-yard line, gain of about 5. And I think they're going to spot him at the 27. It looks like that's where he's got it marked. So it's going to be a gain of 6. It's going to bring up 2nd down 4 for the Cowboys.
Connor Husby, number 3, coming over to lay down a wicked block on the Bulls defender out there. It really is what sprung Murray for that nice pickup.
Very doable play now with 2nd down and relatively short. Now we have some questioning of the officials going on. Oh, the sticks moved. And one of the Cowboys spotted that. The sticks should not have moved on that play. There we go. Now they're back at their starting spot, and the down box has to get set on the line of scrimmage.
It's still early in the season.
It is. So 2nd down and 4 yards to go for the Cowboys. They are at their own 27-yard line. Murray still a quarterback. 4 receivers out to the left again. Hughesby to the right. Snap to Murray. He looks to the left, keeps it himself up the middle, gets across the 32, about the 31-yard line. He's close to a 1st down. It's going to depend on where they spot it. Looks like maybe they gave him the 1st down. And they did. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at their own 31-yard line.
Couple of quick runs by Murray, and probably pretty indicative of what we're going to see today with that lack of any real solid quarterback in the backfield for the Cowboys.
He does take a look out to the left where the 4 receivers are again. They've got, it looks almost like a double stack out there. And Hughesby again to the right. Murray looks to the left and goes to the right again. And this time he doesn't get anywhere. Anderson takes him down. Kyle Anderson for the Bulls, making his presence felt. A loss of 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down 13. They're at the 28-yard line.
You know, and that's something that Anderson can do so well is track his man, and Murray trying his best to make him miss. But if you can just get your guy wrapped up, it's almost impossible to break out of the linebacker's arms.
Well, and they've run 3 identical plays, and so I suspect now they've got Anderson basically playing a spy on Murray. Murray has him up to the line of scrimmage again. 4 receivers out to the left. Murray looks to the left, nothing there. This time tosses it to the right, and it's incomplete. We have penalty flags coming in. There were hands all over DeAndre Houston as he was trying to get open, and I believe they've got pass interference being called against the Bulls, and it's going to be near the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Jordan Rayford not really giving any opportunity for the Cowboys receiver to make a play on the ball. Really held them back 10 yards before the ball even landed.
And that's what they call pass interference against the Northland Bulls at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at that point. We're just underway here from Carson Park in Eau Claire. 13:15 to go in the first quarter. Murray brings the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. DeAndre Houston is out wide to the right, and again, 4 receivers out wide to the left. Snap to Murray, looks left, nothing there, lofts it to the right, Houston looking for it, and the ball, almost intercepted, knocked out of his hands, and Houston almost came down with it. They were fighting with it at the 15-yard line. That ball was anybody's.
Really a great job by Houston as well to sort of turn the tables and play defensive back on that. Bulls defender really had a great read on that as the ball was coming down, but Houston able to get his hands in there, make it impossible for him to come down with the ball.
And Houston almost, on the deflection, almost came up with the ball himself.
Tip drills.
That would have been, yeah, exactly. That would have been a big play. So we have 2nd down 10 from the midfield stripe. Murray has him at the line of scrimmage. Snap to Murray. He takes it himself. Over to the right side. Murray across the 50 down to the 45. Run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The official has it marked, looks like right at the 46-yard line. Gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 2nd down. Let's see where they put it. Yeah, we're going to call that the 46-yard or 44-yard line, I should say. We're going to on the side of the field where they count down now, right?
Of course, beautiful, beautiful blocking by Stoney West out there. Big old Stoney to take a couple linemen down and really open up that field for Murray.
They're back up to the line of scrimmage again. Houston to the right. This time, Murray does sling it out to the left side, and he's across the 40 to the 35, down to about the 33-yard line.
31, Kenneth Watkins on the
That was Watkins. Again, look at the right roster here, Rick. Kenneth Watkins on the reception. Watkins normally a defensive back as well, but getting a little bit of wide receiver time this time. Now they quickly come up, no huddle to the line of scrimmage. 4 receivers now to the right side. Houston is out to the left. Murray looks to the right, gets Watkins again, gets it down to about the 30-yard line, and we have a penalty marker coming in.
penalty flag on the field. Carry was by 31, Kenneth Watkins.
Looks like we have maybe a pass interference call. Nope, we have an illegal use of hands against the Cowboys.
Against the Cowboys, illegal use of hands.
And they mark it back at the 42-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 1st down at about 14. 1st and 14 at the 42-yard line of the Bulls. Murray brings the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage again. 4 receivers to the right, 1 out to the left. Murray looks to the left, nothing there. Now he flings it to the receiver on the left side, way downfield. Pass is incomplete. He's looking for a flag, but there isn't one, and I can't see his number because he's got his shirt tucked up. But it was incomplete down around the 10-yard line. And I'm still trying to pick up his number. I believe that was Brady Hakes, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe that could have been Akeem Peterson. No, his jersey is all the way down. No, there we go. It was Solomon Gary. Solomon Gary goes out wide to the left, and we've got 4 receivers wide to the right. Murray has him up to the line of scrimmage again, 2nd and 14 for the Cowboys. Murray keeps it himself, cuts to the left side, he gets across the 40 down to about the 33-yard line. Murray keeps it himself, and he's down to the 38-yard line. And Well, somewhere along the line, something got changed. We have third down and let's see. 3rd and 15, it looks like. 3rd and 15 for the Cowboys. They need to get down to about the 23-yard line. Murray has that same formation. 4 to the right. Throws it over the middle, slightly behind Gary this time. Pass intended for Solomon. Gary brings up 4th down. And Christopher, I would bet this is 4-down territory for the Cowboys.
I mean, you obviously can't kick a field goal from here. That would be about a 56-yarder, but at the same time, that's a difficult coffin corner punt to make if you do try and punt it. So at the very least, get the yardage that you can, maybe drop them back a little bit further, and hey, maybe get a first down out of this.
And it's not, and even if you only gain a couple yards, it wouldn't be horrible field position for your defense.
No, and we've seen this defense step up time and time again and not really let opposing offenses get very far when they have field position buried back.
And we have a whistle and a timeout on the field. Cowboys call timeout. A little late getting the play in. So with a timeout on the field, wait a minute, we have a penalty marker that came flying. Yeah, there's a penalty against the Cowboys. I don't know what he called. I think that was an illegal substitution. It's a 5-yard penalty. So that brings up 4th down and about 20 for the Cowboys. And Coach Brown is trying to find out if he gets his timeout. He wanted to call timeout. Evidently not. He got the play in. We have Wallace going in at quarterback now. 4th and 20 for the Cowboys at the Bulls, 44-yard line. Wallace has him at the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. Wallace looking downfield. He's in a little bit of trouble. He's scrambling and gets taken down at the 47-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about a yard, and the ball goes over on downs to the Bulls. So, Christopher, what looked like a very promising drive to start with kind of went south fast.
Yeah, you know, a couple of really snazzy looking run plays by Josh Murray. Of course, Rashawn Wallace goes in. Biggest play of that drive was the sort of left screen to Kenneth Watkins for that nice pickup, but unfortunately drive kind of stalling out for them to open the game.
Well, the Bulls come up to the line of scrimmage. Brett Schreiner, former UW Eau Claire product, brings the Bulls up. He's got wide receivers, both right and left, a slot receiver on both sides, puts the slot from the left in motion, going right, and he gives it to him coming across. Devin Alger on the carry, and he got nowhere. Lost about 3 yards on the play. Taken down at, well, let's see, they're going to mark it at the 44-yard line. So it's a loss of 2, 2nd down 12 for the Bulls.
You know, and that's something that the Cowboys defense has excelled at so far this season, is sniffing out the play in the backfield and ending it before it could get anywhere. Great job to bring Devin Alger down in the backfield.
Bulls are back up to the line. Again, slots on both sides. Schreiner takes a snap, gives up the middle, ball's on the ground. Schreiner picks it up, bounces right back up in his hands, keeps it himself, and gets taken down at about the 50-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Brett Schreiner saved disaster. They're going to mark it at the Bulls' 49-yard line, so it's a gain of 6.
Hey, sometimes when that ball hits the ground, all you can do is pick up and hope that there's not some big defensive lineman bearing down on you and fall forward for as much as you can. And Schreiner made the most of that one.
And for a weird-shaped ball that a football is, that one happened to bounce true right back into his hands, because that was also a golden opportunity for the Cowboy defense. So 3rd down, about 7 yards to go for the Bulls. At their own 49-yard line. Schreiner drops straight back to pass, and he is swarmed under, drops the ball, gets hit, gets away, gets the ball away. Downfield, he completes the pass at the 32-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 34-yard line. And the pass is complete to Travis Griffin. Schreiner, I thought he was dead. I thought he was buried under a whole bunch of Cowboys, and somehow he slipped out, rolled out to his right, threw it downfield to Griffin, who made the catch.
Must have buttered up before the game because, yeah, you were right. I mean, they had him dead to rights about 3 times on that play, but great job keeping the play alive, and great job by number 13, Travis Griffin, to do what he could to keep the play alive downfield as well.
This is why Brett Schreiner was the most valuable player in the Northern League Football League 2 years ago. Schreiner has him back up to the line of scrimmage, gives the ball up the middle, and taken down behind the line of scrimmage, loss of a yard, was Kareem McDuffie.
Great job by the Cowboys defense. See the play in the backfield developing and getting to it before it could cross that line of scrimmage. This defensive line is not a group that you want to mess around with.
No, they're very tough against the run. Across the front, the Cowboys have Kellen Lager, and they also have Vic Brady right there in the middle, plugging things up. They also have Tristan Payton. Bulls are back up to the line of scrimmage. Man goes in motion to the left. Schreiner looks to the left. He has his man. He's got it at the 25, turns and tries to get some more yards, gets taken down at the 22-yard line. That is Andy Allison for the Bulls.
Can you run a screenplay on a slant? Is that possible? Because that's kind of what that looked like.
You're right. It did. The way the play developed, that's kind of what it looked like. But it was basically a quick slant, and he was wide open. It's a first down. The Bulls are threatening. They're just outside the red zone. They've got it marked at the 22-yard line. Slots on both sides. Schreiner takes a snap, drops back, looks over the middle, almost intercepted by the Bulls, or by the Cowboys, excuse me. The pass was almost intercepted by Willard and Caleb. He had it right in his hands. In fact, it was right between the numbers, which is probably the worst place for it to hit him.
He still can't believe himself. He's still kind of beating himself out there out on the field about that. And you're right. I mean, that was maybe a case of thinking about running with it before he had that secured, because there was all green in front of him.
So the Bulls come back up to the line of scrimmage, second down 10 at the 22. Schreiner has McDuffie to his left. He gives to McDuffie, cuts it up the right side, and taken down at about the 20-yard line. Maybe they're going to mark it at the 19. That's going to be a gain of about, well, let's see where they put it here. I think it's going to be a gain of 4. 3rd and 6 for the Northland Bulls.
And if you can turn the Bulls away here, prevent them from getting a first down, force them to kick the field goal, I would say that 3 points is pretty good, successful defensive stand against a team like the Bulls.
3rd and 6. Schreiner has him at the line. Drops straight back. Looks to his right. Doesn't have anything there. Runs it himself to the left. He's down around the 15, taken down at about the 14-yard line is where they're going to mark it. And that's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. 4th down and about 1 from the 14-yard line. And there is no field goal team coming on the field for the Bulls. They're going to try to make that yard. The old adage is, if you can't pick up a yard, you're not worth anything anyway.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. And so 4th and a yard for the Bulls. Let's see if they're worth anything, because the Cowboys would like to say that they're not.
Of course, they got to get the playoff real quick here.
And they don't. And we have a delay of game call. No, a timeout called by the Northland Bulls just before the play clock ran down. So with a timeout on the field, well, now my computer is deciding not to work the way it's supposed to. Let's see what happens now. There we go. We put timeout on the field. There's no score with 5:41 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to Cowboy Football
Why
on
was the basketball court
Northern Light Webcasting
Because the
Network.
players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Carson Park, where the Northland Bulls have it 4th and 1 from the Cowboy 14-yard line. They just averted a delay of game penalty with a last-second timeout. And now Brett Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage.
I see Brock Schreiner lined up out there too, just off the right tackle.
He's playing almost like a tight end. Snap goes to Brett, gives to McDuffie, and he gets taken out near the line of scrimmage. It's really close. This is going to be very close. It all depends on where they spot it.
25-3 McDuffie.
And I believe that the Cowboys have held them. First down, Cowboys at their own 14-yard line. Boy. That is a big defensive stand for the Cowboys.
And I tell you what, that was all defensive line for the Cowboys as well. Great job to just beat your guys off the snap and take them down before the play can cross the line of scrimmage.
First and 10 for the Cowboys at the...
Say, fans, don't forget that next week, the Cowboys travel to Logan High School in La Crosse to take on the River City Rough Riders. We'll have that game right here for you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network with Cowboy Kickoff at 5:30 and the live play-by-play beginning at 6. That's next weekend from La Crosse, from Logan High School. We'll have all for you right here. In fact, that'll be the league opener for the Cowboys.
Those are the games that really count.
All right, Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Wallace is in at quarterback. We have slot receivers both sides. One man goes in motion, gives to him at a reverse. And looking downfield, and that one's going to be picked off. That was a wounded duck. It's picked off by the Bulls, and he's still on his feet. He's down to the 5 and into the end zone for a touchdown. That interception was made by P.J. Edom.
And I tell you what, in all that confusion of the verses, I don't know if I could tell you who threw that one, but you were not wrong. That was a wounded duck in the air.
Yeah, Solomon Gary is the one who put that ball in the air, and it just wasn't going to get there. Didn't put enough stampage on that to get it where the post office wanted to send it.
And a great effort to kind of mix things up in the backfield with that play, but unfortunately not enough guys streaking downfield, and the one guy he was going for didn't have enough separation to really help that play develop downfield.
And he just didn't have enough on the ball to even get it there. So the Bulls take an early 6-0 lead. They're lined up to try the extra point, and I'm waiting to see what they're going to. I think they're looking for a holder.
Or a ball.
Or a ball. There we go. Yeah, Brett Schreiner is going to be the holder. Oh, the ball, that was the Cowboys' ball. It has to get back over to the Cowboys sideline. To try the extra point is Mike Rodriguez. He's been kicking for the Bulls for many years. And the lines appear to be set. Here's the snap, place, kick is up, and it's good. And so the score is the Northland Bulls 7 and the Northern Light Cowboys 0. You're listening to Cowboy fans, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. That's why stopping by the Cowboy Bunkhouse on your next visit to a Cowboy game at Carson Park is so important. They have everything you need to cowboy up and be part of the Cowboy Nation. Whether you're looking for the latest in cowboy apparel or a souvenir that can come home with you, just go to the Cowboy Bunkhouse right behind the grandstand at historic Carson Park. And we're back here at Carson Park. Rick Olson along with Christopher Sturz. 5:22 to go in the first quarter. The Northland Bulls have just taken a 7-0 lead over the Cowboys on a pick six. On a little bit of a gadget play, you might say.
Yeah.
It was a reverse pass.
Attempted gadget play, anyway. That went from Wallace to, I think, Murray to Solomon Geary in the backfield, and it really didn't go anywhere except the other way.
Well, Willie McCaleb is back deep for the Cowboys as Rodriguez tees the ball up for the Bulls. Like we pointed out 2 weeks ago, the semi-pro football appears to have adopted the NFL rule where there's no running start on the kickoff. They just line up at the 35, and here's Rodriguez's kick. It's going to come down around the 15-yard line, and it's bobbled there and finally picked up by the Cowboys and taken out to the 30-yard line. And on that return is Devin Williams, normally a wide receiver.
First attempt for the Northern Light Cowboys.
And they're going to mark it, let's see, it looks like the 29-yard line maybe, or the official has his foot on the 29. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the 29-yard line. Well, let's hope this drive lasts a little longer than the last one. And you know what was really sad about that last interception was the defense had just made such an outstanding stop, and then the Cowboys give it up and give up a pick six. Murray at quarterback gives it straight up the middle, and he's across the 40 out to about the 45-yard line. Sam Epps on the carry. And they're going to say his knee came down as he was lunging forward at the 43-yard line, but that's still enough for a Cowboy first down.
Yeah, nice quick 14-yard pickup there for Sam Epps. And I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that quick step that Epps has out of the backfield, and we saw it on full display there. Really falling forward for about 5 yards of that.
While the Cowboys are back up to the line of scrimmage, Murray's still at quarterback. Epps is behind him. And to give to Epps up the middle again. And this time he gets about a yard on the play. Doesn't get a whole lot. He's across the 44 to about the 45-yard line. Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 45. So we'll call it a gain of 2. 2nd down 8. The Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage.
And nice little. Remember how Amon Green used to kind of spring forward after that first hit? That's kind of what Sam Epps is doing out there to get that couple of yards.
Give to Murray. Tried to hand it off to Epps, and the timing was off because it was a low snap, and Murray keeps it himself. Gets run out of bounds at about the 45-yard line as he scampered around the right end. They're going to mark it at the 46, so we'll call it a gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd down about 7 for the Cowboys. Cowboys moving from left to right on your computer screen or your smartphone screen, whatever you're listening to us on. We're just happy to have you on board.
Yeah, I guess it's not really radio dial, huh?
No, I can't quite say radio dial. Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Slot receivers to both sides. Epps in the backfield. Murray at quarterback. Murray takes the snap. Give to Epps. Fake to Epps. Drop straight back. They got a screen over the middle to Epps. He's across the 50. He's across down to the 45-yard line where he's finally taken down. It looks to me like it's going to be a first down. They're going to spot it. Yeah, the nose of the ball is going to be right on the 45-yard line of the Bulls. And that's going to be a first down for the Cowboys.
10 for the
Sticks are waiting for the officials to tell them to move, and it's taking them a little while. There they go.
Talk about waiting for the last possible second to throw that screen pass, man.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather have them wait like that than move too early. So we're going to mark it on the 45-yard line. 1st and 10.
They were pretty much in his shirt before Murray got rid of that ball.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the Bulls 45. So they're back into Bulls territory. And to give to Epps straight up the middle again. Oh, this wasn't Epps, this was Wilkerson straight up the middle. U.J. Wilkerson, number 24, gets it down to about the 43-yard line. Gain of a couple. 2nd down 8.
Of course, a lot of good grinding downfield plays here for the Cowboys, moving the ball well, taking their time getting down the field and picking up the first downs as they need them.
A very run-heavy offense for the Cowboys today because they really don't have a serious passing attack. Murray has him at the line of scrimmage. Murray keeps it himself. He goes around the left end. He faked up the middle, and he took off himself on the left end, gets down to the 30-yard line, taken down at the 28-yard line. That's another first down for the Cowboys. Murray saw something there. I believe that was what we call an RPO, or run-pass option, and he took the run option. And it was his own run.
Not only that, but juking that outside linebacker out of his shoes there. That's what they call in basketball an ankle-breaking move. I mean, he put him on his butt.
And after he did that, he had a lot of field left. Now, Clint Hughesby trying to figure out where he's supposed to line up. He's going out wide to the right. Hakeem Peterson out, or Hadari Peterson out wide to the left. Murray, at quarterback, has two running backs this time. Quick little pitch to Solomon Gary, and he gets run out of bounds. He's first hit at about the 27, but steps out of bounds finally at the 22-yard line.
Good move by Geary to kind of throw his hip out to tiptoe down that sideline for an extra 4 yards.
3rd down 3. Geary was lined up as the tailback in that play. 3rd and 3 for the Cow, or 2nd and 3 for the Cow. No, I believe the box has it wrong. I think it's 3rd down. It is 2nd down. Okay, 2nd down and 3. Murray takes the snap, rolls out to the right, cuts it upfield across the 20, down to the 25, down to the 15, east to the 5, and taken down at about the 3-yard line. And that knocking sound you're hearing is the Cowboys on the end zone door.
Of course, nice little making it happen for himself on that, using the truck stick on the defensive back, trying to take him down. Push that safety back about 3 yards on that play.
Josh Murray on the run. We have that may be the last play of the quarter. Cowboys could let the clock wind down to the end of the quarter, and they are coming up to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they try to run a play before the quarter ends. 1st and goal from the 3 for the Cowboys. They got about 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. And they got the snap off. Give up the middle to Wilkerson, and he's in the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Right at the end of the first quarter, the Cowboys get on the board.
Of course, sometimes when you're down that close to the end zone, all you need is that push and that great big offensive line for the Cowboys, giving Ujay all the movement or all the space he needed to put 6 on the board.
That makes the score of the Bulls 7, Cowboys 6, as the Cowboys are going to attempt a 2-point conversion. Now, the officials have put the ball on the 3-yard line, and I was under the impression that semi-pro used NFL rules and went from the 2. But, and that actually, Christopher, makes a difference when you're running the extra point. But Murray has the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Wilkerson is at the tailback. Snap give to Wilkerson. No, he kept it himself. Throws out to the flat. Incomplete. Just off the hands of Hadari Peterson. So the score remains Northland Bulls 7 and your Cowboys 6. And we'll take a brief timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Football.
When it comes to a fun night out, come to Wagner's Lane. We have 26 lanes for open and league bowling. We also have Thunder Alley Glow Bowling. We have a full-service grill. Come to our Friday night fish fry. Bring the whole family. And don't forget, we are the best choice for birthday parties for children and adults. So don't get pinned down with nothing to do. Come to Wagner's Lanes, 715-833-6700.
Next time you're at Carson Park for a Cowboy game and your game hunger gets to you.
Come and get it! Just come on over to the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, located right behind the grandstand. There you'll find some of the best stadium food that's sure to cure that game time hunger. That's the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, and we'll see you there, partner.
Fans, following today's game, come out to Wagner's Lanes and join the Cowboys for our fifth quarter gathering. Of course, Wagner's the official fifth quarter place to hang out after the game with your Northern Light Cowboys. Come on down and join us. Lots of great drink specials. Can maybe do some bowling. They go pretty late into the evening on bowling, so join us at Wagner's.
And the kick goes down to about the 20-yard line where it's picked up by the Bulls. And he gets it out across the 35 to taken down at about the 39-yard line. And it appears to be DeJounte Sky on the return, number 82 for the Bulls. And they'll have it first down. That was the first play of the second quarter. So a pretty evenly matched first quarter. Cowboys showing some offense without having much of a passing attack. And but some very effective running of the ball.
Yeah, you know, from that first Sam Epps 15-yard carry to a couple of plays by Josh Murray to really open up the field, they were able to move the ball with force against this Bulls defense.
So Schreiner has the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage, gives it up the middle. It's across the 45, taken down at the 48-yard line. And that ball was carried by Jordan Van Leer Perry. Jordan Van Leer Perry on the carry. And no, I'm not trying to be a poet because my feet don't show it. They're not Longfellows. Okay, that's it. That's the last dad joke I did.
Oh, man. I think we have a PSA lined up for that.
Bulls come up to the line of scrimmage. They've got three receivers out wide to the right. One goes in motion to the left. He stops there at the tight end spot. Give up the middle again to Van Leer Perry, and he's met in the backfield and just doesn't get anywhere. Tristan Payton on the greeting committee for him, and he gets stopped, and we'll see where they mark it here at the 41-yard line of the Bulls. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Again, just phenomenal job. I feel like I maybe am skipping record here, but of the running plays that the Bulls have been running today, most of them have been stuffed out in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage by this fantastic defense of the Cowboys.
Well, Tristan Payton and Vic Brady both just do a nice job of plugging up that middle. And the Bulls just aren't getting a whole lot there. Schreiner has them at the line of scrimmage. And there's a little bit of confusion with the Bulls. Now they seem to be set. Slot people both sides. Schreiner looks out wide to the left side, and he got his man taken down at the 50-yard line, and that's just barely enough for a first down for the Bulls.
Yeah, that was number 15, Stacy Kalkworth for the Bulls, doing a great job of getting the ball ahead of the line before getting dragged down, twisting his body a little bit to move the sticks.
Well, they needed 9, and I think they got 9 3 inches. And because the nose of the football is just over the 50-yard line, and they needed to get the 50. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Schreiner has a running back behind him. I believe that's Van Leer Perry. And a give to him, coming up the middle, and met in the backfield again. Back on the Bulls side of the field. This time, he was met by number 44. That's Deshaun Wojcik.
Tristan Payton out there with the assist too, but
Wojcik and Payton this time.
Beautiful, beautiful defensive play. Always good to see your line get hyped up like that after making a stop.
Forward progress, they're going to mark it at the 49-yard line, so it's only a gain or a loss of a yard before they met him. But by the time his sitter downer hit the ground, it was back around the 45-yard line. And they come up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and about 11. It's a long 11. Schreiner has a running back right behind him. He's in the pistol formation. And we have a whistle And a delay game penalty called against the Bulls.
Against the Northland Bulls.
We've got Willie McCaleb down there trying to get the crowd fired up.
Wonder if that's helping, because the crowd getting awful loud here today. Of course, we got a pretty good sized crowd over here at Carson Park, and you hear the cowbells going off, all that fun stuff, and yeah, it really does disrupt play down on the field.
And they actually have a treat coming up at halftime. They've got the UW Eau Claire Blue Gold Pep Band going to be playing at halftime. We'll try to bring some of that to you. Schreiner keeps the ball himself, looks downfield. He's got a receiver open, and he's caught it. He's down around across the 25 down to about the 22-yard line. Mike Rodriguez on the reception. That's their kicker and a wide receiver.
Number 12, Mike Rodriguez.
Rodriguez taken down at the 22-yard line. The one thing about Schreiner is he'll stand right in that pocket, and he'll find a receiver and drill it to him.
Yeah, and he really threading the needle on that. Going over about 6 outstretched Cowboy arms to drop that pass in there for the completion.
Schreiner brings him back up to the line of scrimmage. Give up the middle. No, Schreiner kept it himself. Rolling around to the left side. Tries to keep it himself. Taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's about where he got. Was right back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring out 2nd down and 10 for the Bulls. And the Bulls back in the huddle. 10:34 to go in the first half. This half's moving along very nicely because the game has been kept on the ground.
Yeah, and and the passes have been finding their marks as well, and both teams' offense is moving rather efficiently downfield.
Schreiner has the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. He's got slot receivers out to both sides. He takes a snap, takes it up the middle, looks over to his right side. It's incomplete, threw it slightly behind Travis Griffin, and it was incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Neither player really on the same page, both kind of giving each other a no, I thought you were going to be there. Well, I was supposed to be here, look, as they get back to the huddle.
We have an even 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Cowboys trail by 1. Sounds like a baseball game.
The Brewers game did finally end. I think it was the 16th inning that thing finally wrapped up.
They played a lot of baseball in the last week or so. Schreiner takes a snap, and he's taken down way back in the backfield, back at the 29-yard line. That's going to be a loss of about 8 yards.
For 47, Kellen Lager doing work out there to get to the quarterback and end this drive early.
Well, they're going to mark it at the, let's call it the 28-yard line, so a loss of 7. 4th down, 17.
I used to play flag football with Kellen Lager back in the Indoor Sports Center during the off-season. We were on a flag football team together.
Did he do any of that stuff to you?
No.
I was going to say, that might explain why you're up here in the booth with me instead of...
I don't have that many lost brain cells from flag football.
Schreiner has the Bulls up to the line. He drops straight back, looking downfield. Oh, pass batted down. They were trying to get a screen pass out to Kareem McDuffie, but it was batted down by the Cowboys. Looks like big old number 47, Kellen Lager again, got his hands up and knocked that ball down.
And both Lager and Prill in the backfield causing some troubles for Schreiner today. Man, that would have been 6 if he'd been able to keep that in his hands.
So the ball goes over on downs to the Cowboys at their own 28-yard line. It'll be 1st down. Well, the Cowboys were able to finish their last drive. Let's see if they can't do it again. And Kellen Lager heading back out on the field to play a little offense now.
No rest for the weary for him. But of course, if you're having that good of a defensive run, why not let him have a crack at offense, right?
And he's lining up at tight end. They got about 7 seconds to go to get this play off. They do. Pitch out to Epps going around the right end, and he gets out near the 30-yard line. I don't think he quite got there. I think they're going to mark it at the 29, so it's only a gain of about a yard. Let's see where they put it. A lot of bodies between us and them. Right on the 29-yard line. So it's second down, 9 yards to go for the Cowboys.
Second and 9 at the 29.
God, they got the Carson Park baseball side looking nice right now, right?
It does look nice over there. It's all clean and everything. No game going on.
Itching for some baseball, too, coming up here pretty soon.
Cowboys at the line of scrimmage. Murray at quarterback. Takes the snap. He keeps it himself, heading around the left side. He gets across the 30 to the 35 and pushed out of bounds somewhere around the 38-yard line. They're going to mark it on the 39. That's where the officials got his foot, and he just set the ball down right on the 39-yard line. It's really nice when that happens right in front of us. It's right on the near sideline in front of us, and he set it right on the line.
If only they could do that for us every play. Make it a lot easier.
That's a first down for the Cowboys at their own 39-yard line. 8:14 to go.
They got to get to the line quick. They got 10 seconds to get a playoff.
They got 5. The snap, give up the middle to Sam Epps, and he gets out to the 40-yard line, so it's a gain of about 1 as he tested the right-hand side of the line there. Just wasn't a whole lot there for him to do anything with.
You know, and that was designed strong side run. And if you're a decent defense, you can usually sniff those out pretty well. And that's what ended up happening out there. Bring up a long second down for the Cowboys.
Second down 9. Cowboys take a long time getting out of the huddle. They've got about 7 seconds to go, and they're just now coming up to the line of scrimmage. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have a timeout called. I'm sure that's by the Cowboys. Timeout on the field with 7:10 to go in the first half. The score, the Northland Bulls 7 and the Cowboys 6. You're listening to Cowboy Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Come and check out the $10 lunch specials at 44 North in Altoona. Don't forget, happy hours Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and Monday through Thursday 10 until 12. Also, their famous Sunday through Friday Power Hour when you can enjoy $1 select drafts from 5 until 6. That's 44 North, 1488 Front Porch Place across from Woodman's in Altoona. Back at Carson Park, Cowboys have a second down 9 at their own 39-yard line. Well, they're going to mark it right on, it's right on the 40. Murray takes the snap, and he gives it coming back this way, and he's across the 40 to the 45 to the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Troy Prill on the carry. Some of the big guns are playing both ways for the Cowboys because they need to make up for the lack of a starting quarterback out there.
It's kind of a scary sight to have Troy Prill running at you. I got to tell you, if I'm anybody less than a linebacker, I'm maybe closing my eyes and hoping I get up after I get the hit.
And he got knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line of the Bulls. First and 10 Cowboys. Again, penetrating Bulls territory. Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Josh Murray at quarterback still. Sam Epps lining up behind him. Murray keeps it himself, drops back to throw, looking downfield. He's got a receiver. It's Peterson, and incomplete. Just a little bit overthrown. Peterson actually came back for it and probably should have kept his route going because that ball ended up being overthrown. Hadari Peterson was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Peterson keeps running that route. He was kind of jockeying for position with his defender for a little bit, but I mean, he had a step on the guy. That would have come down right where he was, and that would have been an easy 6.
So it's 2nd down 10 for the Cowboys.
Boy, Murray's got kind of an arm on him. That was a beautiful
He
throw.
lofts it a little bit, so he does give defenders a chance to recover, but all things considered, not a bad bet for today. Murray this time keeps it himself. He's looking for somewhere to run with it. Cuts it back around to the right side. He gets across the 45 and run out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about, well, they're going to mark it right at the 40, I think. It's going to be a gain of 4. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Cowboys.
Really smart heads-up play out there on the far side by Connor Husby, number 3. Very wisely deciding not to make the block. Of course, he came in from behind his defender and would have been a loss of 10 had that happened, but really, good job laying off, letting Murray do his thing and scamper for a positive yardage.
He marked it on the 41-yard line, so it was a gain of 3. 3rd down 7 for the Cowboys. Krill in the backfield along with Epps. Murray looks over the middle, has a completion to Kellen Lager, and he gets taken down at the 30-yard line. Lager playing tight end, and he hauls down a reception. I think that might be the first completion for the Cowboys today.
Well, aside from a screen pass earlier in the game, but great read, just a quick, almost a shovel-type pass to Lager a couple of yards down and just letting the big guy make his own yardage.
It was almost like a jump pass, and Lager's a big target. So 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the Bulls' 30-yard line. 5:13 to go in the first half. Cowboys looking to try and take a lead. Murray pitches it out to Epps coming around the left side. Epps turns the corner and gets stopped right there, and he's going to lose a yard on the play. In fact, I think they're going to mark it as a loss of 2. They're going to mark it at the 32-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 12. Yeah, holy cow, that's a loss of 3 the way they marked it. So it's 2nd down 13 at the 33-yard line.
It's kind of fun watching Coach Brown sort of go halfway out of the field to call plays and let them know they're supposed to be getting involved out there.
He's pretty animated sometimes. Snap to Murray. Pitch and a pass, and it's down there. Touchdown! Cowboys! Pass completed to DeAndre Houston. The pass was thrown by Solomon Gary, and this one wasn't a wounded duck. He put it right into Solomon Houston's arms. Or DeAndre Houston's arms, Solomon Gary on the pass, right in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Cowboys.
Boy, talk about a redemption arc from that wounded duck earlier. That was about as beautiful, perfect of a pass as you could have asked for, putting it right where Houston was going to be the only one to get to it. Right over the top of 2 defenders, too. Great read, great pass, great play by the Cowboys.
Right near the base of the end zone, right near the back line, and DeAndre pulls it in for the Cowboy touchdown, making the score the Cowboys 12 and the Northland Bulls 7. So the Cowboys take the lead, and they're going to go after 2 here. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray looking for somewhere to go with it, and he eludes a tackle. He's scrambling. He's back at about the 30-yard line. Lost it to the end zone. It's knocked down incomplete. It was intended for Kellen Lager, and there were about 6 hands that got on that ball, and none of them could come down with it. So with 4:12 to go in the first half, the Cowboys have the lead. Cowboys 12, Northland Bulls 7.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home.
Network.
I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And we're back at Carson Park, where the Cowboys have just taken a 12-7 lead over the Northland Bulls. We want to welcome on board to our broadcast team Dan Petschow. He's our statistician extraordinaire today, and he's busily trying to learn the software and keep up with us. You should have seen the look of panic on his face when the Bulls started to go no huddle on him, because there's a lot of buttons to click, but Dan has a way of finding his way around that kind of stuff. So here comes the kickoff, and it comes down at around the 18-yard line. The Bulls have it there. They're coming out across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. Returning that was Jordan Van Leer Perry. And he's got it. They're going to mark it right at the 33-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for the Northland Bulls.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, we can just go back to that last drive for a moment here, Rick. Fantastic job, not only moving the ball via the run, but 2 complete passes on that play that really helped drive things forward.
Well, one was the touchdown.
One was the touchdown, of course, but also that pass to Kellen Lager for that first down pickup. And once you start getting that run game going like they've been doing for most of that game, it really does help open things up to run some of those trick plays where you can have Solomon Geary take it on a handoff and then pass it downfield.
Schreiner has the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. He's got 3 receivers out wide to the right. Schreiner rolls to his right, looking downfield, being chased down from behind, and the pass is incomplete at about the 50-yard line. Pass was intended for Devin Alger, and it was overthrown right along the sidelines on the right side as the Bulls are moving from left to right.
Yeah, great job by number 44, Deshaun Wojciech. Sorry, Deshaun.
It's one of the. It's a Polish name. It's from Poland, and it's where they have a few too many consonants and not enough vowels, and the consonants don't always make the sound that we expect them to make in the English language.
Usually I'm pretty good at that, but Deshaun Wojciech getting out there and hitting the blind side, disrupting that play in the backfield.
Schreiner drops straight back. Pass is tipped as he throws it to the right-hand side, and it was tipped by Akeem Peterson, and so it falls harmlessly incomplete. Pass was intended for DeJounte Sky.
That was all vertical leapage, too, for Akeem Peterson. I'd like to get a ruler out there and measure how far he went off the ground to get that tip. That was impressive.
And it also made the ball go behind Sky, so Sky didn't have a chance at any kind of a reception there. So the Bulls come back up to the line of scrimmage. Schreiner with a running back to his right. Schreiner straight back, looking downfield. He's got his receiver in and out of his hands. Pass was intended for Andy Allison, and he was covered over there by Kenneth Watkins for the Cowboys, who might have put a hand through his vision a little bit as he was going up to try to bat the ball, and Allison couldn't quite hang on because he did have Watson beat, but it's all for naught. It's incomplete and brings up 4th down 10.
And you almost wonder if he was kind of thinking about the touchdown that he would have gotten if he had caught that, because that went right through his arms on the sidelines. Give it up for the defense to get in the way, but seems to be a slight mental error, too, on the part of Allison.
Mike Rodriguez back to kick for the Bulls. And the Bulls call timeout as the clock was just running down. And actually, Cowboys were in just as rough a shape. They ran a player on at the last second as well because they were a little bit shorthanded. So now they have a chance to get their personnel straightened out. And we'll keep it right here for a minute. Yeah, coming up at halftime, from what I understand, we do have the Blue Gold Pep Band, although I don't see them anywhere right now, but I have seen people come in with instruments, so I'm assuming that they are around somewhere to play at halftime, and we'll try to carry some of that for you if our field mic picks them up properly.
You don't just carry your tuba around everywhere? I do. You never know when you're going to need that.
Oh, what a day, oh, what a day. My little brother ran away, and now my tuba will not play. What a day, oh, what a day. Thank you, Shel Silverstein. And up to the line of scrimmage now, Rodriguez is going to try to punt the ball away.
Number 12, Michael Rodriguez back in punt formation.
He takes a snap. Steps and kicks. It's a high floater coming down at the 20 or at the 35 where it's caught and returned to the 40, 45 and taken down right at the 45-yard line. He kind of got upended with Devon Williams for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys will have a 1st and 10 right at the 45. Williams at least helped us out by coming down right on the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and not only that, pretty decent field position to start for the Cowboys here with about 3.5 minutes left to go in the half, and they still have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, they do have enough time to maybe get some more points on the board before halftime. That would be a real big thing for the Cowboys. You know, something just happened on the field now that I'm surprised doesn't happen more often. The official, after making sure everything was set, was walking across to and literally tripped right over the ball. They got that straightened out, and now they got to move the sticks to indicate that we're going the right direction. And we are. So 1st and 10 Cowboys, and they're at the line of scrimmage. There's a snap. Murray gives it straight up the middle to Epps, and he gets across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. Gain of about 8.
Second down.
Beautiful burst of speed up the middle there. And if anytime you can pick up 8 on a run play on a 1st down, you're not going to complain about that.
Epps does not need a big hole. He just needs something there because he'll hit it so fast that they don't have time to react. 2nd down, 2 yards to go for the Cowboys at the Bulls' 47-yard line. Murray has the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Wide receivers out both sides. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield. Give to Epps, straight up the middle. He's across the 45. He's down near the 40. He's going to be taken down. It looks like about the 41-yard line. I don't think he quite made the 40. But it's enough for a 1st down.
Stoney out there giving us the 1st down signal.
And they did mark it right on the 40-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 Cowboys. And Troy Pearl coming off the field with a little hitch in his giddy up. Going in for Pearl is Tristan Payton. He's lined up as a fullback. Wilkerson in the backfield. Murray takes the snap, takes it around the left end, and he is met right at the 40-yard line. And there was a little stiff arm going on. Now, I do not understand how they're marking that ball back at the 43-yard line when he was clearly up to the 40.
Yeah, not sure where that's coming from. I don't know if maybe he's stepped out before moving forward or what it was, but we'll go to the 2-minute warning with a loss of 3, I guess.
So, 2 minutes to go in the first half. The score, Cowboys 12 and the Northland Bulls 7. You're listening to Cowboys football on the Northland Network.
Hey fans, don't forget you can catch live play-by-play coverage of each Northern Light Cowboys home game throughout the 2019 season simply by tuning your internet listening device to Northern Light Webcasting Network, that's all one word, .com. You can also listen to archive games, that's Northern Light Webcasting Network.com.
If you love them enough to barely sleep, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
That's not far.
What are we gonna do? Hike?
Sure.
Are we there yet?
Yep, it's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
And we're back at Carson Park. Cowboys have the ball, 2nd down, 13, in what both Christopher and I have determined was a terrible spot by the officials. The snap to Murray drops straight back, looking downfield. He's under some pressure and throws it, and that ball was at the feet of Sam Epps. He did have a receiver in the area. That's why they're not calling intentional grounding on Murray. It did not get back to the line of scrimmage, but it was right at the feet of Sam Epps, who was perfectly eligible.
Yeah, and I'm not really quite sure what happened on that play. It looked like maybe it was an attempt at a screen, might have been a broken play.
the way that Murray kind of backed up, I think he was maybe expecting a running back to be there to hand it off, and it wasn't. So just a little bit of a broken play
Well,
as we.
it may very well have also been a screen pass that the Bulls read, and so all of a sudden it wasn't there. So he just threw it at the feet of Epps. Third down, 13 yards to go. Murray drops straight back, looking downfield. He's got his receiver out at about the 30-yard line and taken down at the 29-yard line. That's Peterson. Hadari Peterson on the reception on the 29. And guess what? That's another first down for the Cowboys with $1:48 to go in the first half. And we have a whistle and a timeout being called by the Bulls.
Called by the Northland Bulls.
So with 1:39 to go in the first half, score Cowboys 12, Bulls 7. Cowboys driving.
Here,
You're listening to
there,
Cowboy Football
everywhere.
on the
Now
Northern
Royal
Light
Credit
Webcasting
Union lets you
Network.
deposit a check from just about anywhere using a smartphone or tablet. Start with the Royal mobile app. Choose check deposit and we'll guide you from there. It's convenient, easy, and secure. Of course, you can still walk in, drive up, or choose an ATM, but we also have mobile deposit, so you can easily deposit your check here, there, everywhere. Learn more at rcu.org. How will your story unfold?
And we're back here at Carson Park. Live Cowboy football action on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Hey, your chance to see the Cowboys here at Carson Park. Next home game is Saturday, May 25th, when the Cowboys play host to the Minnesota Vipers. Game time for that is 6 o'clock. And if you can't make it here to Carson Park, you can always listen live by tuning in right here at the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And we'll have that one for you. That game had a very interesting conclusion last year when they played over in Stanley, when the two teams met. Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Murray takes a snap, looking out for a screen, but he takes it up the middle himself. He's across the 20, to the 15, 10, down to the 5, taken down at about the 5 or 4 yard line. See where they spot it, but it's a first and goal for the Cowboys, and they're going to spot it on the 4 yard line.
That was quite the speed burst for Murray as he hit that second level, blowing by two defenders who were squaring up to make that wrap up. Great move in the open field.
He did a quick fake on the pass out to the right side and tucked it back in and took off and down to the 4 yard line where it's first and goal Cowboys. U.J. Wilkerson in the backfield with Murray. They're lined up in the pistol. Slot receivers on both sides. Murray hands to Wilkerson, who got met at the same time he got the ball. Holy cow, did he get plastered. And he gets taken down at the 6 yard line. They're going to mark it a loss of 2. Second and goal from the 6. 43 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, Wilkerson coming up on that one. Who am I? And does anybody get the number of that train?
Cowboys did not call a timeout. The clock continues to run. 25 seconds to go in the half. 11 seconds on the play clock. They just break the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage, quickly get out there. 5 seconds to go before the play clock runs out. Snap. In time. Pass in the end zone. Incomplete, but pass interference being called in the end zone. That time, Jordan Rayford had his hands all over the receiver, DeAndre Houston, and that's going to, stop the clock with 5 seconds to go in the half, and put the ball on the 1 yard line where it's first and goal from the 1 with 5 seconds to go in the half.
And you've got any number of big guys that you could just give the football to at that point and say, fall forward.
My guess is that they will either be giving it to Epps or Wilkerson straight up the middle, or fake it to them and Murray will follow them up the middle. But there is a timeout on the play, or on the field right now, as the Cowboys want to make sure they have the right play called. Because this will be, now they put 9 seconds back on the clock. 9 seconds to go. I still think this will probably be the last play of the half. First and goal from the 1 yard line. Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Wilkerson in the backfield with Murray. Murray going up under center, takes it, tries a quarterback sneak, and he goes forward. Does he get it? Into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown! A 1-yard plunge. Boy, he had to struggle sliding off the right side of the center, but he got it into the end zone for the Cowboy touchdown, and that makes the score Cowboys 18, Northland Bulls 7.
Yeah, of course, phenomenal second, third effort by Murray to, like you said, get over the right side of the center on that. Beautiful job reading where the defensive line was lined up and finding the hole to get 6.
Now, there were 9 seconds to go in the half. There are now 8 seconds to go in the half. Evidently, that play only took 1 second.
I guess. I didn't realize it. I mean, it felt like an eternity. I don't know what happened to time.
Yeah, I think the official just noticed that, too. He's looking at the scoreboard like, huh? How did that happen? Now, we have a timeout. Official's calling timeout. He wants the 25-second clock. There, start the 25-second clock now. And the Cowboys come up to the line for attempting the 2-point conversion. Murray in the backfield, but he doesn't have a running back out there. And somebody's got to come in. Here we go. Here he comes in. It's Carl Caldwell coming in the backfield.
Murray's telling him just block.
Murray floats one in the backfield and catches it for a 2-point conversion. He had to put both toes down right in the back corner of the end zone for that 2-point conversion. Cowboys take a 20-7 lead, and somehow the guy running the play clock didn't realize that was an untimed down. Now they put 5 seconds back on the clock. But it's 20-7, Cowboys leading the Bulls as we're just about ready to wind up the first half. I'll tell you what, you're listening to Cowboy Football.
You're in
on the Northern
Goodwill,
Light
and just past
Webcasting
that
Network.
vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
And we're back at Carson Park, where the Cowboys have just opened up a 20-7 lead on the Northland Bulls. 5 seconds remaining in the first half.
Coming up at halftime, we expect to have the Eau Claire Athletic Band with us today.
And the Cowboys are going out to kick off, and teeing the ball up for the Cowboys will be Darren Mackey. Back deep to receive for the Bulls. We have DeJounte Sky on the right side, and on the left side, Jordan Van Leer Perry. Mackey ready to kick. Comes up. He kicks. It's coming down at about the 35. Rolls to about the 28-yard line. Picked up by Van Leer Perry, who gets it across the 40 and taken down at the 41-yard line. And the clock runs out. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Cowboys 20, Northland Bulls 7. We'll be back with some halftime entertainment and information right after this timeout. You're listening to Cowboy Football.
Cowboy fans, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. That's why stopping by the Cowboy Bunkhouse on your next visit to a Cowboy game at Carson Park is so important. They have everything you need to cowboy up and be part of the Cowboy Nation. Whether you're looking for the latest in cowboy apparel or a souvenir that can come home with you, just go to the Cowboy Bunkhouse right behind the grandstand at historic Carson Park.
I'm going to the hardware store.
Oh, will you pick up 800 lumen bulbs?
800 more flowers? The neighbors will think we're wacky.
Not flower bulbs, light bulbs.
Come on, Dad. Lumens tell you how bright the bulb is. We can replace our 60-watt bulbs with energy-saving bulbs that give off about 800 lumens.
So, we'll save money.
Right.
Got it. 800 lumens and more savings.
Lumens, the new way to shop for light.
Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
In addition to providing ice for Cowboy games, American Ice has worked with events like the Baldwin Junebug Days, Menominee Freedom Fest, the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, and Country Fest to keep drinks cool and refreshing. So for your event, remember, no one does events better than American Ice. Since 1980, American Ice has been stocking ice for events just like yours. That's American Ice, 2234 Sunset Drive, Eau Claire.
And we're back at Carson Park. Some real quick stats here before the UW Eau Claire pep band. This is just an ensemble of the UW Eau Claire band. And,
the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band.
It's the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band is what they're called, and so they're going to be playing at halftime. And I'll tell you what, why don't we just go ahead and listen to those, and we'll get you some halftime statistics after they're done playing. So this is the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band. You're listening to the UW Eau Claire Athletic Department Band performing at halftime, where the Cowboys lead the Bulls 20-7. We've got some more music coming up from the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band. And we're still listening to the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band. And looks like they've got another one for us. We've got about 8.5 minutes still left in the halftime. So the band is providing good entertainment for a nice crowd here on an overcast evening. A couple patches of blue floating by. Cowboys leading at halftime by a score of 20-7. We're going to take a look at some stats right after the band is done performing. They're getting ready to do another number for us here. Here they go. Well, there's Dancing Queen by the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band. Some music by ABBA. And the Chippewa Valley Theater Guild is doing Mamma Mia this weekend, so it seems appropriate.
I think next weekend, too. Didn't they add another weekend of shows?
I'm not sure. And we have a couple young men coming out in front to do some solo work with some saxophones.
round of applause for the UW Eau Claire Athletic Band.
And we're back at Carson Park, UW Eau Claire Athletic Department Band performing for our halftime entertainment, and they did a fine job and were well appreciated by the crowd. I noticed quite a number of Cowboy players came up in the stands after they were done chatting in the locker room and watching the band perform. That was always kind of good to see. It's kind of fun to see a good halftime show at a semi-pro game.
Yeah, always nice to have some live music out there, especially local university. Sending a group of young kids to perform for the crowd, always fun to see.
Well, the Cowboys lead the Bulls 20-7 at half, and the statistics kind of reflect that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's just run down the list right here. The number of first downs in the first half, 11 for the Cowboys, 2 for the Bulls, if you can believe that. You look at the yards gained rushing for the Cowboys, 133 yards to the 25 for the Bulls, and 47 passing yards for the Cowboys, 3 yards for the Bulls. Total net yards, there were some losses on that. Total net yards, 168 for the Cowboys, 14 for the Bulls. So that defense really locking down.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That says a lot about that defense.
Unreal that they've been able to hold those, but it's also been a pretty clean game. Not a whole lot of penalties. 4 penalties for the Bulls, 1 for the Cowboys. Turnovers limited as well. There was the 1 for the Bulls, which led to their only points of the game. It was a pick 6. Thrown by the Cowboys. So, tail of the tape, really treading towards a Cowboys victory right now as it stands.
Some of the individual stats, leading rusher for the Cowboys, Josh Murray, coming out of that quarterback spot, has 79 yards net rushing just in the first half. He's averaging a little over 6.5 yards a carry. He has a touchdown in there. Sam Epps has 17 yards. And Troy Prill, he only had one carry, but he got 16 yards on it, so that was a big play for him as well. They ended up with, we kind of thought it was going to happen, a running attack, and the running attack proved to be effective. And in the pregame show when we were talking, one of the things I mentioned that in the past, the Bulls have been susceptible to the run. They have a good defense, especially against the pass, but they've been susceptible to the run. And they showed their good defense against the pass by getting the pick 6. But that's all they've been able to muster today.
Yeah, and their offense has been, as you can see from the statistics, what was that, 14 yards of total net offense, non-existent. And I don't know if it's just the way that the Bulls are calling plays, or if it's just the way that the Cowboys are reading those plays and snuffing them up before they can get anywhere. But this is the Cowboys team that we really knew from last year and saw on a regular weekly basis.
Well, it's 20-7. Cowboys have the lead over the Bulls. We're going to be getting ready for the second half in just a couple minutes. So we're going to take a brief timeout. And when we come back, we'll be ready for the second half kickoff. You're listening to Cowboys
Hey everyone,
Football
let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Next time you're at Carson Park for a Cowboy game and your game hunger gets to you.
Come and get it! Just come on over to the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, located right behind the grandstand. There you'll find some of the best stadium food that's sure to cure that game time hunger. That's the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, and we'll see you there, partner.
And we're back here at Carson Park getting ready to start the second half of today's game. Cowboys should be kicking off. And for a minute there, I saw Chris Garner walking out without his pads on, but now he's strapping them up. I was worried that maybe there was an injury or something to Chris, but he's a tough guy. He's not going to let a little bump or bruise slow him down.
You got to have both of the Choo-Choo brothers out there, or else what's the point, right?
Yeah, the train goes in circles if it's just chewing. You got to have choo-choo to go down the straight line. Kind of like having one oar in the water. All right, the Bulls are out on the field with their receiving team. Cowboys are getting their kicking team together. Cowboys will be kicking from left to right. Well, maybe not. Now the Bulls seem to be switching ends here. Cowboys are going to be kicking from right to left as they come out onto the field. As the public address system is playing jump around.
Is it the fourth quarter? What happened?
Well, and Mackey is going to tee it up at the 35-yard line for the Cowboys. Back deep to receive for the Bulls. On the right-hand side is DeJounte Sky, and on the left-hand side is Jordan Van Leer Perry. Mackey just about has it teed up, while one of the trainers for the Bulls makes the long dash across the field so she doesn't get run over.
Or she's suddenly switching to our side and is going to be doing kick coverage. Who knows, right?
She safely made it to the other side. And Mackey approaches the ball and kicks it. It's a nice kick for Mackey coming down about the 15. Picked up there by Sky, and he gets tripped up at the 30-yard line. Tripped up there by Devon Williams on a real nice tackle. And Sky comes down right at the 30-yard line. It's going to be first down for the Bulls at their own 30-yard line.
Boy, Williams has had a couple of really fantastic special teams plays today. He's had a couple of nice punt returns, and now doing things on the other side of special teams as well with that really nice wrap-up tackle.
So that Cowboy defense back out on the field as Brett Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. Schreiner in the pistol, takes a snap, throws it out to the right-hand side. He's got his man who gets across the 35 out to about the 40-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 10 yards. Pass was complete to Travis Griffin, and they're going to mark it right on the 40, I believe. Yes, marked right on the 40-yard line. First and 10, just enough for a first down.
Of course, some positive passing yardage from the Bulls. We talked at halftime a little bit about how ineffective their offense has been, with less than 20 yards of total offense in that first half.
They got half of that right here. Schreiner has him back up to the line of scrimmage. Takes it up the middle, little play action, throws it over the middle, passes it, oh, in and out of the hands, almost intercepted. Keith Richardson on the play, and it was in and out of his hands as he went up in the air to get it. Pass was intended, once again, for Travis Griffin. This one was over the middle. Griffin coming down on the right side, cutting it over the middle, and it was a little bit high for Griffin, in and out of the hands of Richardson, and it becomes third down 10.
Yeah, Richardson lay on the ground for a couple of seconds. I don't actually think he was expecting to have that hit him. It kind of surprised him. It looked like the way that he reacted and just couldn't hang on to it.
Bulls back up to the line of scrimmage. Schreiner in the pistol. He's got one running back with him. Give up the middle, and he gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Not very much room to run that time. Jordan Van Leer Perry on the carry.
Boy, the gang tackling out there has been something else today and this season. I mean, whenever there's a running play, there's 3-4 guys around the ball making that play.
And they're putting it on the 42-yard line, so it's a gain of 2. Third down 8 for the Bulls. This time Schreiner sends 3 receivers out wide to the right. One is out wide to the left. He's got a back there with him. Drops straight back. Looking left, looking right. Passes incomplete. He would not have had a first down anyway. Pass was intended for Mike Rodriguez at about the 48-yard line, but he was going to go down to the ground right at that spot, and it would not have been enough anyway. But now it's fourth down 8 for the Bulls.
One stat of note, the Bulls only 2 of 6 in the first half on third down conversions, and there's another great stop by the Cowboys to bring up fourth down.
And the Bulls in punt formation. Rodriguez to punt. He kept it, and he comes around the right side, across the 40, out to the 50, and run out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Rodriguez has a first down, and we got a little bit of pushing and shoving going on down there on the field. But not much happens. Rodriguez did get the first down, though, on the fake punt. Just took it around the right end.
A lot of confusion on the defensive side of the Cowboys. Looked like there were some personnel issues. Couldn't figure out who was going where, which I think opened things up for him to decide, I'm just going to run this.
And the contain didn't contain. Those outside guys have got to contain and prevent him from taking off around the end like that, and they just simply didn't do it. So Schreiner has the Bulls with a fresh set of downs up to the line of scrimmage, and we have a timeout called. It looks like a timeout called by the Cowboys. So 12:52 remaining in the third quarter. Cowboys 20, Northland Bulls 7. Cowboy football.
Stop in to Wagner's Lanes and the Complex for your one-stop shop for fun. You'll find volleyball, bowling, giant Jenga, bags, and so much more. Wagner's Lanes and the Complex features happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and a weekend happy hour from 10 until 12. That's Wagner's Lanes and the Complex, 2159 Brackett Avenue in Eau Claire.
And we're back at Carson Park. Northland Bulls have the ball first and 10 at the Cowboy 48-yard line. Following that fake punt that they had. Brett Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. In the backfield with him is Kareem McDuffie. He's got 3 receivers out wide to the left, 1 out wide to the right. Snap to Schreiner, give to McDuffie. He tries the right-hand side and did not have anything. He got to the 50-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 2. It's going to bring up second down 12.
I just can't reiterate how good these guys are on the line. I mean, this is a clinic that these guys are putting on here on stopping the run before it can even develop.
So Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line again, still in that pistol formation. That seems to be the standard formation that most teams use now. McDuffie back there with him. Fake to McDuffie, quick pass, intercepted by the Cowboys! Across the 50, down to the 45, to the 42-yard line. Taken down there, we have a penalty marker come flying in at the last second. The pass was intercepted by Nate Satnick. And I don't know what the penalty was for. The Cowboys were congratulating each other by punching Satnick in a friendly sort of way, and I think the official just saw the punches going in. Personal foul against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are wondering, how can you get a penalty called for doing that to your own player? And so it's coming back to the Cowboy 40-yard line. Evidently it happened at the Bulls 45-yard line. It's coming back to the 40-yard line.
What an odd penalty to get assessed.
Well, actually, they're saying Darren Mackey had the interception. I thought it was 19, but they're saying it was 18, Darren Mackey. And it very well could have been. As we mentioned 2 weeks ago, it's kind of hard to read some of the Cowboys' numbers because they're multicolored. And we now have a timeout on the field. Both teams having a little bit of trouble getting things organized in this second half. And this time the Bulls called the timeout. So we'll take another one with a timeout on the field. The score, Cowboys 20, Bulls 7.
Ranger Station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Webcasting
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
So we're back here at Carson Park as the Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray at quarterback. He's done most of the quarterbacking for the Cowboys today. He takes a snap, gives it straight up the middle, and he's through to the 45 to the 50-yard line. Gain of 10 yards on the play. That's Sam Epps on that run. Straight up the middle for 10 yards. First down, Cowboys.
And I don't know if the Cowboys are just getting a fantastic push off the ball on the snap, or if Sam Epps is just that quick and that good at hitting the hole, or a combination of both. But that's about the fourth time today we've seen that up the middle play. Not really even a draw play, but just a straight halfback dive.
It's just a quick hitter.
That just works, and the Bulls really don't have an answer for it.
So the Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray still at quarterback. Epps in the backfield with him. And the give to Epps again. This time he tries the right side. He gets across the 50 down to about the 47-yard line. Gain of 3.
Number 30 on the carry for the Northern Light Cowboys.
That's going to bring up a second down 7 for the Cowboys at the 47-yard line of the Bulls. Boy, the way the Cowboy offenses worked today, you wouldn't realize that they were on their third quarterback.
Seamless transitions, and then we thought at the beginning we thought we'd see a lot more of Rashawn Wallace, but they haven't really had to go to the passing game a whole lot to be effective.
So 2nd and 7 for the Cowboys at the line of scrimmage. Murray, play action pass, looking deep. He's got Peterson who gets pushed out of bounds, and we have a penalty marker come flying in, and we have pass interference being called against the Bulls by the back judge on the officials, and he called it back at about the 20-yard line of the Bulls. It's going to be first down for the Cowboys, and I think they're going to spot it right on the 19-yard line.
And Jordan Rayford, number 37, trying to make the argument, that wasn't a catchable pass. Refs, what are you doing? What are you doing? But anytime you grab the guy and push him out of bounds while the ball's still in the air.
Well, and he may actually have a point, because it was Hadari Peterson was the intended receiver. And I believe Peterson actually stepped out of bounds somewhere around the 30-yard line, which would have made him ineligible anyway. And so I don't think you can have pass interference on an ineligible receiver. But who am I to question what the officials did when it gives the Cowboys 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line?
Don't look a gift wrap in the mouth, right?
That's right. Murray takes the snap. Play action pass again. Murray looking for someplace to go with it. Keeps it himself. Goes around the right end. He's down to the 10. To the 5. Touchdown, Cowboys! Josh Murray pulls the ball down, keeps it himself, and goes around the right end for a touchdown.
And we got a flag down in the backfield.
Number 4, Josh Murray with a touchdown for the Northern Light Cowboys.
And we'll see what this penalty is.
Picking it up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Bulls. I believe it was for the player over on the sidelines flinging his helmet into the fence.
They keep a watchful eye on everything down there, don't they?
They really do. Because he was really angry over there on the far side. He was just flinging his helmet, picked it up, and flung it again. So the Cowboys will be, again, going for that 2-point conversion as they take a 26-7 lead with 10:22 to go in the third quarter. Hadari Peterson late into the huddle. Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Prill in the backfield. Dan Hooper in at quarterback. And the ball gets snapped back and rolls back to Hooper, who picks it up, and he just has nowhere to go with it. That you cannot blame on Dan Hooper. A good shortstop would have had a hard time picking that one up.
I kind of feel bad for the guy. I think 2 weeks that same exact thing happened for him. They put him in towards sort of the end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter, and it was a low snap recovered by the other team. Poor guy just can't seem to catch a break out there.
So the Cowboys take a 26-7 lead over the Northland Bulls with 10:16 to go go in the third quarter. You're listening to Cowboy Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey fans, don't forget you can catch live play-by-play coverage of each Northern Light Cowboys home game throughout the 2019 season simply by tuning your internet listening device to Northern Light Webcasting Network, that's all one word, .com. You can also listen to archive games. That's Northern Light Webcasting Network.com.
And we're back at Carson Park, and that unsportsmanlike penalty was marched off on the kickoff. So the Cowboys are kicking off from the 50-yard line. Mackey to kick. And his kick is heading kind of toward the sideline. Bounces on the 15. Picked up by Van Leer Perry, and he gets it out across the 25 to about the 29-yard line, where it's going to be first down for the Bulls at that point, and we have a Cowboy down on the field. Not getting up very quickly. He's not moving much at all. He is moving his arms. So now he's rolling over and trying to get up. He's not having a real good time at trying to get up, though. Was that possibly Prill? Nope, there's Prill coming on. Well, while they tend to him, why don't we take another timeout? Timeout on the field. Cowboys are leading the Bulls 26-7. You're listening to Cowboys
social thing,
Northern
but it
Light
wasn't academic.
Webcasting Network.
Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And we're back at Carson Park. Carl Caldwell coming off the field. He was the injured Cowboy. So the Bulls have it. First down at their own 28-yard line.
Came off under his own power, but then kind of hit the ground pretty hard as soon as he got back. So it's like...
Yeah, he's not feeling real good right now.
Checking out that right leg of his.
And they're helping him back to the bench. And he's going to get examined there by the training staff. Schreiner with the pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Rodriguez on the right-hand side, and it brings up second down 10.
I think Willie McCaleb might have got his hand on that one, too. The path of the ball seemed to change pretty abruptly.
He was also covered by Akeem Peterson out there. So, like I said, second down 10 at the 28-yard line. Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line. Two receivers out wide to the right, one out wide to the left, and a slot man on the left side as well. Schreiner takes the snap, drops straight back, looking downfield, throws it out to the left, it's incomplete. Pass was defended by Ken Watkins, and the pass was intended for DeJounte Sky. He had to kind of lay out for it. Watkins kind of came over the top at the last second and got his hands on it, and it just fell to the ground harmlessly.
Great job of just reading where that pass was going, making a play to make, because when a receiver lays out, you always run the risk of maybe coming in a little bit too aggressively, drawing a flag, but Watkins doing a good job of using nothing but his hands to break up that play.
And he timed it well. He did make contact with Sky, but it was after the ball had gotten there. Schreiner has him up to the line of scrimmage. Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Schreiner drops straight back, looking downfield. He's got a receiver incomplete. Just overthrew him a little bit. And again, it was intended for Sky. And we have a penalty marker on the play in the backfield. Personal foul, roughing the passer is the call against the Cowboys. It was a blow to the head. I did not see who did it, but it's a roughing the passer penalty with a blow to the head. And so the ball will come out to about the 43-yard line. And it'll be first down for the Bulls at their own 43. Boy, the Cowboys had that drive stopped, and now they give them that extra, the whole nother series.
Longest play of the game today for the Bulls, coming off of a penalty, I guess.
New set of downs for Brett Schreiner and the Bulls as he brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Takes a snap, drops the ball, and has to fall on it. Boy, there were a couple Cowboys that didn't realize it was on the ground and overshot it. And Schreiner falls on it back at the 38-yard line, loss of 5. That's going to bring up second down 15. Well, they're going to mark it on the 39, so it's going to be second and 14. That's we've seen that happen a couple times today with the snap not quite getting to Schreiner, and he had to make something. One of the times he made a really nice play out of it, but this time not quite so lucky. So second down 14 for the Bulls as Schreiner has him at the line. Snap, give up the middle. No, it's a play action fake. Schreiner looking out to the right side. He has a receiver who takes it out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It's Travis Griffin on the reception. He's been a fairly active receiver for the Bulls. He's been targeted a number of times. Just had one reception in the first half, but ball went in his direction quite a number of times. Third down 7 for the Bulls at their own 46-yard line. Schreiner has him at the line, drops straight back, looking downfield. He's got a receiver who's got it and takes it out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. That's Sky again, right on the 45-yard line, and that's a first down for the Bulls.
Bulls putting together a consistent drive here, really after that roughing the passer penalty. Couple of plays in a row that really been working for them.
Now we have an official timeout on the field because there's a problem with the sticks, with the chains over there. I think maybe possibly the chain came off of one of the sticks. That's kind of what it looks like they're doing. A lot of experts over there looking on, some of them helmeted. He's indicating that
it broke.
I think it's the orange marker on it, that there's the big orange triangle that allows the stick to be easily seen by the players, I think came apart.
Maintenance person, would you report to the field, please?
You know, that's something that a wrap of first aid tape. In fact, I see one of those helmeted players signaling to the official, yeah, let's just wrap some tape around it.
PA's calling for the Parks and Rec person that's assigned to every game. Get the expert, get the real expert out there.
And I hear footsteps in the booths up above us, so I think maybe he is responding. But I think they're probably going to just wrap some athletic tape around. But you know what? This is going to be a little bit of a timeout. So why don't we take a timeout? You're listening to...
At 44 North in Altoona, you can enjoy music in the park on Monday and Wednesday evenings from one of their 2 patios. While there, stay to challenge your friends to one of their many featured arcade games. After the music, enjoy happy hour from 10 until 12. That's 44 North, 1488 Front Porch Place, across from Woodman's in Altoona.
And we're back at Carson Park. It looks like they have affected the repairs that needed to be done to the stick.
All right, I guess we have in place.
So the Bulls have it 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 45-yard line, and Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. He has Van Leer Perry in the backfield with him. Schreiner takes the snap. Drops straight back, looks out to the left side, has a receiver. This is Sky, he's across the 35, taken down to about the 31-yard line of the Cowboys. That quick pass out to the left side seems to be pretty effective for the Bulls.
Yeah, whatever it is, the Cowboys have not been able to, stop that kind of quick drop back, quick sling out. pretty sizable chunks of yards that they're getting on this drive just on that play alone.
Those plays also leave the possibility. See how much room they're giving Sky back there. The corner that's covering him is giving him at least 7 yards. Give up the middle of Van Perry, and he got met by Tristan Payton at the same time that he got the ball. And Payton put him to the ground and wagged his finger at him like, no way, you're not going to do that to me. And it's a big loss for the Bulls, a loss of about 4 yards. Back at the 35-yard line, 2nd down, 14.
Number 40, Tristan Payton, a little Dikembe Mutombo action back there, getting in there, dropping him to the ground before he even had a chance to look downfield.
he's rubbing his belly out there like, I'm hungry, I want some more. Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line. Van Perry in the backfield with him, puts a man in motion. That's Sky in motion. Play action pass. Schreiner keeps it himself. He doesn't have anywhere to go, but he eludes a tackle, flings it out to the side, incomplete, and that was intended for Travis Griffin at about the 30-yard line, but it's incomplete, brings up 3rd down and 14. Third and 14 from the 35-yard line for the Bulls. Cowboys with a 26-7 lead. 6:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. Bulls come up to the line of scrimmage. Van Perry in the backfield with Schreiner. Schreiner drops straight back, looking downfield. He's got a receiver down there, incomplete. It went right through the hands of Travis Griffin, right about the 10-yard line. And Griffin is still on the ground. He's clutching his knee. He might have come down awkwardly on that knee. As he went up for the pass. It was incomplete, obviously, but Travis Griffin is writhing in pain on the field, laying down at about the 5-yard line. Training staff is out there right away. And this is going to take a little while, so you know what? We're going to take a timeout. Score, Cowboys 26, Bulls 7, 6:46 to go in the 3rd quarter.
This is Chicago-style hot dog here. I'm not feeling too good. Turns out, along with all the other bad things my cholesterol does, they say it's a risk factor for strokes. Strokes? Sheesh. Good news from National Stroke Association. Exercising, eating right, and asking your doctor about medicines that can help lower your cholesterol like statins may reduce the risk of a first stroke. And if you've already had a stroke, it's even more important you lower your cholesterol.
Lower your chances of stroke by controlling your cholesterol. Visit stroke.org today.
Cowboy fans, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. That's why stopping by the Cowboy Bunkhouse on your next visit to a Cowboy game at Carson Park is so important. They have everything you need to cowboy up and be part of the Cowboy Nation. Whether you're looking for the latest in cowboy apparel or a souvenir that can come home with you, just go to the Cowboy Bunkhouse right behind the grandstand at historic Carson Park.
And we're back at Carson Park. And hey, don't forget that you can also order your cowboy apparel online by going to the JM Screen Printing website and clicking on Shop. That's at www.JM Screen Printing and More. That's all one word, JM Screen Printing and More.com. And that's how a good way to get your cowboy apparel right there. And it'll be shipped right to your house. They'll figure out how they're going to meet you and so on.
And I think you got some cowboy apparel right there.
Yeah, I do. It's a cool looking gray t-shirt with a cowboy logo on the front. Bulls are up at the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. Cowboys just got caught offside, so it's a free play for the Bulls. Pass is incomplete. Holy cow, he had Andy Allison wide open. And Cowboy went up to try to deflect it, and I think it distracted the concentration of Allison because he was wide open, and it just went right through his hands. But it was a free play for the Bulls, and they're going to get 5 yards. It will be 4th down and 9 instead of 4th and 14. Ball is spotted on the 30-yard line. It's always kind of exciting when you get that free play, even if it's the other team.
Quarterbacks always, as soon as that line gets jumped, they're licking their chops, and I think any quarterback that has the opportunity to just chuck it downfield, Rex Grossman-esque is going to do it.
All right, he's got him at the line of scrimmage, Schreiner does, and he takes the snap, drop straight back, looking downfield. He keeps it himself, rolls out a little bit, throws it down, and he's finally got the receiver, Travis Griffin, open, taken down at the 20, or check that, the 18-yard line. And that's enough for a first down for the Bulls. And once again, this drive extends due to Cowboy penalties.
Yeah, that would have been presumably a turnover on downs had it not been for the offsides, and two costly errors on the Cowboys on this drive that really is just keeping the defense on the field.
And actually giving the Bulls some pretty good field position right now, because they're at the Cowboy 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Schreiner has the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. Van Leer Perry in the backfield. Fake to Van Leer Perry. He rolls out to the right and incomplete. Pass was intended again. I believe it was Travis Griffin over there.
Incomplete pass, 2nd down.
And yes, it was Travis Griffin, and once again, incomplete, 2nd down, 10.
Not sure who was out there on the defense, but I think that was number 18.
Mackey, Darren Mackey.
Darren Mackey. I think he got a hand on that. Great job just putting his body out there on the line like that to get out there, get a hand, and knock it away from what would have been a fantastic pickup.
And once again, Travis Griffin was open. And so Mackey did a good job of recovering and getting a hand on the ball. Schreiner has the Bulls back up to the line in the pistol. Schreiner drops straight back, passes it out to the left side. It's complete. And hit hard at about the 12-yard line. I didn't get a number on the receiver. I think it might have been Sky.
Devontae Sky?
Yes, it was Devontae Sky on the reception. And he gets taken down hard at the 12-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. 3rd down 4 for the Bulls in the red zone.
A little bit of an airbag check out on the field there. That was a full speed tackle there. He's getting up, wondering what time it is.
Yeah, he's probably thinking he's in a different time zone right now. Bulls at the line of scrimmage. Snap straight back. Goes, and a fumble ball on the ground picked up by the Cowboys. And he's out to about the 30-yard line. That ball was finally picked up by John Good and taken down at the 30-yard line. Schreiner dropped back, and one of the Cowboys, I didn't get the number. Basically, it was a strip sack, and the ball rolled loose. John Good picked it up and got it out to the 30-yard line, and once again, the Cowboy defense slams the door on the Bulls. And it's 1st and 10, Cowboys at the 30-yard line.
Go Johnny, go out there doing what he can to
Johnny, be good.
have some great vision on the field to not only get a good read on where that ball ended up after the sack, but to take it a little bit further down the field to give them a little bit of space as they get the ball on a fantastic defensive play.
We talked earlier about the way that ball bounces. That one also took a hop right up into his hands, and off Johnny went. So Murray gives the ball up the middle, straight up the middle. Is that Epps, I believe? Well, it's either Epps or Wilkerson, and I can't see because there's bodies all over him. He gets out to about it's Epps on the carry, and he gets it out to the 35-yard line, gain of 5. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5.
I wish there was a way to show the listeners at home just how far Coach Brown gets out there to send players in and get the
He's every bit out to the numbers. So the Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray still in at quarterback. Snap to Murray. Give straight up the middle. This is Wilkerson out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line where he's stopped, but that's enough for a Cowboy first down.
First down for the Cowboys.
Great second effort by Wilkerson to maybe stop on forward progress, but just not enough time for them to blow the whistle. A little bit of extra effort to move the chains.
That's a pretty good two-headed running monster that the Cowboys have between Epps and Wilkerson, and they are different types of runners, so the defense has to make an adjustment. If one isn't working, the other one will. And the Cowboys have been taking advantage of that today.
And, that's kind of the nice thing. We've talked to Uche, and we've seen kind of how he's developed as a player. He's not necessarily the fastest back, but he's going to get those yards that you need.
So the Cowboys are back up to the line. Murray brings him up. Give to Wilkerson. No, Murray kept it himself, goes around the right end, got tripped up just as he turned the corner. A hand came in and tripped him about the 40. He finally falls down at about the 43-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 3, second down, and second and 8 from the 43. So it's a gain of 2. And just as he rounded that corner around the right end, somebody got a hand in there, tripped him up, and he was able to lunge forward to come down at the 42.
He was booking it too. There wasn't anybody that was going to stop that if it weren't for that shoestring tackle.
So Murray has him back up to the line. This time he takes off around the right end without any fanfare at all, and he got nowhere. He didn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage that time, lost a yard. Brings up third down 9.
Down the ball at the 42-yard line. Third down.
At the 42-yard line, third and 9, 2:15 to go in the third quarter. Cowboys leading the Bulls 26-7.
Murray coming off and
yeah, Coach Brown he's right on. The numbers all have those arrows pointing which way the end zone is, and he is right on the tip of one of those arrows. Well, now wait a minute. We have a timeout on the field, so now he's going all the way out there. So we have a timeout on the field with 1:48 to go in the third quarter. The score, Cowboys 26, Bulls 7. You're listening to Cowboy Football on the Northern Lights Webcasting Network.
You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human
American Ice is the clear choice and regional leader in providing clean, clear ice. Whether for enjoying in your favorite beverage with friends or filling a cooler for great times with your family, you can count on American Ice to be the clearest, longest lasting, and best tasting ice cubes for any occasion. That's the American Ice Company, 2234 Sunset Drive, Eau Claire.
And back at Carson Park. 1:48 to go in the third quarter. Cowboys back up to the line of scrimmage. Third down 9 following a Cowboy timeout. Stacked receivers on both the right and left side. Murray looking to throw. He's got his man, but incomplete. Threw it just a little bit behind his intended receiver, and I can't see his number from here. He's quite a ways over there.
Pass was intended for 17.
Hadari Peterson, way over there on the far side this time, on the right-hand side, and it was incomplete. Peterson had to reach back, and he got a hand on it, but it would have been a spectacular one-handed catch had he made it. And we have another timeout call by the Cowboys. They were going to go out and line up for a punt, and this would have been the first punt of the afternoon for the Cowboys, I believe.
Yeah, no, they've kept things on the field offensive, and they haven't really put any special teams out there. I don't think they've even taken an extra point kick. So really doing what they can to keep the offense out on the field. And the downside now, though, is they have no timeouts the rest of the game.
Well, fortunately, they're not trying to come back from behind like they were 2 weeks ago. But there is a timeout on the field, and why don't we take one here right now as well?
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba, over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're going to come back early out of that, especially after Christopher asked me if I brought my tuba with me when the band was going to go out and play today. Cowboys are going to actually go for it here on fourth down. 4th and 9. Murray drops back, and he is hit in the backfield. Can't get there. He got rid of it as he was going down, and the pass is incomplete. And they did not throw an intentional grounding. They did not say he was in the grass. So at least it's an incomplete pass because he was back inside the 30-yard line, and he had two Bulls players with him in the air, pushing him backwards when he released the ball.
Yeah, great move by Murray not to take the sack and throwing it to an area of the field where there weren't any defenders to get an easy pick. Fantastic read. Sometimes a smart decision is to throw it away, and he found the spot to do it.
Throw it away to play another day. And so the Bulls take over on downs. Cowboys 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. In the backfield with him is McDuffie. He's got 3 receivers out on the left side. He's looking to the left. Throws to the intercepted by the Cowboys. It's Akeem Peterson. He heads down the sideline across the 40, taken down at the 38-yard line of the Bulls. And that's a first down for the Cowboys. Akeem Peterson just stepped in front of the pass, and that was the point I was going to make. It was those quick passes out to the left. Sometimes a defender starts to get the read on those, and that's the kind you step in front of and make a very interesting play of, and that's just what Akeem Peterson did.
And, you know, for as good of a quarterback as Schreiner is, he was definitely staring down his receiver that whole time. And when you're as skilled as Akeem Peterson is, you don't have to think twice about where that pass is going. It was
you just
easy
follow the
jump
eyes.
in front, and I mean, it was there the whole way, an easy read and good catch and run by Peterson to get it fairly middling into Bulls territory.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the Bulls 38-yard line. Murray brings the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. U.J. Wilkerson in the backfield with Murray. Give to U.J. right up the middle. He's across the 35 down to the 30 and taken down at about the 28-yard line. He's going to be close to that first down. I think he's going to be a yard shy. I think they're going to mark it on the 29-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 1.
You know, I know this is some pretty advanced analytics for our software, and I'm not sure if I can do that, but I would love to see how many of our running plays that we've run on first down have resulted in 7 or more yards, because they put on a show of that tonight.
Yeah, they most certainly have. And you know what? I'll bet somewhere deep down inside that program, it can tell us that. If you give Dan a little more time, he's going to figure out how to tell us exactly that kind of stuff. 2nd and 1, give to Wilkerson. He's across the 30, down to the 25, to the 10, 15, 10, taken down at about the, well, they're going to mark it at the 12-yard line where he finally goes down. U.J. Wilkerson saw a hole on the right side, went through it, and nobody touched him until he got, they didn't lay a hand on him until he was down about the 15, and then he dragged them down to about the 12. They're going to mark it on the 11.
And, you know, we talk about how he's maybe not the fastest runner, but once he gets going downhill, once he finds that opening, it's kind of hard to stop a guy built like him. I mean, he had to get taken down from behind on there because I think if anybody tried to tackle him from the front, they were just going to get run down.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The Cowboys 26, the Northland Bulls.
When it comes to a fun night out, come to Wagner's Lanes. We have 26 lanes for open and league bowling. We also have Thunder Alley Glow Bowling. We have a full-service grill. Come to our Friday night fish fry. Bring the whole family. And don't forget, we are the best choice for birthday parties for children and adults. So don't get pinned down with nothing to do. Come to Wagner's Lanes, 715-833-6700.
Next time you're at Carson Park for a Cowboy game and your game hunger gets to you.
Come and get it! Just come on over to the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, located right behind the grandstand. There you'll find some of the best stadium food that's sure to cure that game time hunger. That's the Cowboys Chuck Wagon, and we'll see you there, partner.
And we are back at Carson Park, just starting the 4th quarter, as the Cowboys have a 26-7 lead, and they are threatening to add to that, as they have it 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line of the Northland Bulls. Josh Murray has the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Murray in the pistol, takes the snap, gives to Wilkerson, heads it right up the middle. He's down to the 7 to the 6 yard line. They're going to mark him at the 7.
Wilkerson on the carry.
Second down. Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Now they're kind of in that weird spot where they can actually still get a first down if they want to before getting it into the end zone here, so they can definitely take their time.
And they come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray in that pistol formation. With the exception of one play, they've been in that all night. U.J. Wilkerson in the backfield with Murray. And the play action pass. Now Murray keeps it himself. He's across the 5 and got tripped up. I think he tripped over a blade of grass that time because he was at about the 3 yard line, which is where he went down. Wilkerson was on the move, and he gets a little bit of a hug from one of the Bulls players. Because I think the Bull player realized that Josh Murray, if he doesn't trip on that blade of grass or whatever it was that caused him to lose his footing, he was headed for the end zone.
Yeah, that was field must have just changed levels or something on there because that was,
turf monster got him.
Wasn't even a fall forward. That was like a fall sideways. If he falls forward, that's a touchdown.
Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage, and we have all kinds of flags flying. Cowboys were not set. They had a late substitution. Clock was running out, and so that's going to cost the Cowboys 5 yards. It's going to go back to about the 8 yard line.
False start against the...
Whoever that person was that was coming in never got set. And that person coming in late was Akeem Peterson, and I think it would surprise him that he needed to go in there.
Now, you don't need 11 players on the field. You can operate with less, no more than that.
You're right. And there are a lot of players who think that it is a penalty if you only have 10 on the field. As long as, if you're on offense, you still have to have 7 on the line of scrimmage. Now, it's 3rd down and 8 yards to go. 7 yards to go. 8 seconds to go on the play clock. Now Peterson knows where he is. Wilkerson, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the play gets handed off to Peterson as he heads up the left side, and that got all bottled up with all kinds of bodies in the way, and he's going to be lucky to have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. To be honest with you, Chris, maybe that was one time where getting fancy wasn't the thing to do.
And especially because fancy hasn't, really. I mean, they had the one touchdown off of that, but they also gave up the pick 6. But what's really been working for them this game has just been handing it off and let their running talent do the work.
Coming up to the line of scrimmage, same formation. We've got UJ straight in the I formation behind Murray. Murray keeps it himself. He's going around the right end. He's across the 10. Gets rid of the ball. Caught in the end zone by Kellen Lager. And I don't see any flags. It's a touchdown. Oh, wait a minute. We do have a penalty.
27, Kellen Lager. There is a penalty flag on the field.
Now, Murray may have been somewhere near the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. Let's see if that's what they call here.
Legal forward pass.
He has an illegal forward pass. It includes a loss of down, so it'll be a penalty and a loss of down. So the ball will go over on downs. Actually, I think the illegal forward pass is just a spot foul. It's the same as an incomplete pass. So it should be first down for the Bulls. Now the down box says 4th down, but I believe it's 1st and 10 for the Bulls at their own 8 yard line. Now everybody moved. Now where are they putting the ball?
While they last, buy one, get the second one free.
Oh, they're putting it at the 13, so it was a 5 yard penalty and loss of down.
Second one free at the concession stand.
1st and 10 from the 13 yard line. Schreiner has the Bulls at the line of scrimmage. Schreiner looks downfield. He gets hit just as he releases the ball, and it falls harmlessly to the turf. Andy Allison was sort of the intended receiver, but I don't think it got halfway to Allison because they hit Schreiner's arm as he was trying to deliver it.
Yeah, that play collapsed from the minute it started. I think by the time the first step was taken back, there were 3 Cowboys in the backfield ready to just disrupt the whole day.
So that brings up 2nd down 10. 11:45 to go in the ball game. Cowboys up 26-7. Schreiner has the Bulls to the line of scrimmage. He has slot receivers on both sides. Looking out to the right side, he's got his man who's crossing over, and he's got Cowboys hanging on him as he gets across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Griffin was the receiver on that. And let's see, they're going to spot it at the 16-yard line, it looks like.
Of course, there's that.
That's a gain of 3.
That swing pass, we've been seeing from them all game, and Schreiner maybe throwing it a little bit faster than he usually does after that Akeem Peterson interception, not taking as long to look to where that pass is going.
3rd and 7. Schreiner looks to the right side. He's got his man. He's got it complete out to the 23-yard line, and that's a 1st down for the Bulls. And let's see. It looks like this time it was Stacy Cockworth. Number 15, I believe. That's what it looked like from here. Sometimes those numbers at this time of night on the far side of the field are hard to see. Yeah, he is in the game. Now, because he's a slot receiver on the left side this time, as Schreiner has them up to the line. Drops straight back, looks downfield. Sends one deep, and it's incomplete, intended for Travis Griffin. And Griffin was very well covered that time by Kenneth Watkins for the Cowboys.
Yeah, kind of a desperation heave by Schreiner. Again, the defensive line of the Cowboys blowing that play up mere moments after the ball got snapped.
So that brings up 2nd down 10 for the Bulls at their own 24-yard line. Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. A last-second substitution for the Cowboys. Schreiner drops straight back, looking downfield. Still looking, and it's incomplete, intended for Allison. And we have a penalty marker, and I think it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback out of bounds. That's kind of where the flag went flying because Schreiner ended up on his keister over on the sideline. Now, roughing the quarterback is the call against the Cowboys. So even though it was an incomplete pass, it's going to give the Bulls a 1st down, and it's going to be out at about the 41-yard line by the time it's all said and done. They're going to put it right on the 40. 1st and 10 for the Bulls on their own 40-yard line. This drive began back about the 13-yard line. Bulls come up to the line of scrimmage. Handler Perry in the backfield along with Schreiner. He has slots on both sides. Schreiner drops straight back looking downfield. Sends it downfield, passes in and out of the hands, intended for Andy Allison. He hit him right on the fingertips, and Allison just didn't haul it in. He was covered down there by Xavier Thompson, but it was actually fairly loose coverage. Thompson's pretty fortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, Allison catches that. That is, if not a touchdown, that's cutting deep into the Cowboys' territory. Just a great read to shake off his coverage and find the open field, and just couldn't bring it in. Hands weren't soft enough.
Cowboy defensive coordinator Coley Dean was out almost as far as Coach Brown goes, out onto the numbers, espousing the need for better coverage on Xavier Thompson that time and how fortunate he was.
I can tell you one of those words was you got lucky.
So the Bulls drop straight back, pass is complete, and down at the 49-yard line, it looks like. Travis Griffin on the reception. He ends up hobbling a little bit. And it was a gain of about 8. It's going to bring up 3rd down 2. The big boys come in on the defense for the Cowboys. Peyton and Vic Brady. There's a snap to Schreiner. Looks out and, oh, this time it's real clear what happened that time, Chris. It was intended for Allison, and he turned his body just before the ball got there looking to do something with it and forgot to look the ball in.
I mean, he was not only looking to the end zone, he was looking to getting home this evening. I mean, that was how far ahead he was looking. I've never seen a player literally turn their whole body and try and catch it on their hip without looking at the thing. That was, talk about an embarrassing mental mistake.
Well, the Bulls come back up to the line. 4th down 2. This is a big play right here. Cowboys could shut this drive down. Snap to Schreiner. He's looking. Ball gets tapped and it falls harmlessly to the ground. And the ball goes over on downs to the Cowboys. First down at the Bulls' 48-yard line.
Just great hands by the defensive line to notice that the pass is and honestly, if you can't get to the quarterback, if you know you're not going to get to that quarterback, you just get your hands up and hope that you're able to knock something down, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Great 4th down stand by the Cowboys.
Hey fans, don't forget that next week the Cowboys travel to Logan High School in La Crosse to take on the River City Rough Riders. We're going to have that game for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network with Cowboy kickoff at 5:30 and the live play-by-play beginning at 6 o'clock. We hope that you're all here at that time. First down, Cowboys at the 48-yard line of the Bulls. Snap to Murray. Give it straight up the middle to U.J. Wilkerson. He's across the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. That looks like it's going to be enough for a first down. Let's see where they spot it. It's close. Yeah, they're saying go ahead, move the sticks. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the, well, they're putting it right on the 38-yard line.
And again, another first play, first snap, handoff, 10-yard pickup. Unbelievable display of running mastery tonight here by the Cowboys.
Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray at quarterback. Wilkerson in the backfield with him. Slots on both sides. Give to Wilkerson, straight up the middle. He stutter steps, gets it across the 35. That's where they're going to mark it as he goes down right on the 35-yard line. Wilkerson comes out. Sam Epps into the lineup for the Cowboys. 8:52 to go in the ball game. Cowboys up on top, 26-7. Cowboys looking to up their season record to 2 wins and 1 loss. All 3 games this year have been against former Northern Elite Football League teams. Murray takes the snap, gives to Epps, straight up the middle, across the 30, down to about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. Yeah, they're going to put it right there on the 28-yard line. 3rd down, and about 5. Check that, it's on the 33-yard line. Not the 28, it's the 33. This is give to Epps. Gets it across the 30. He's down to the 25-yard line. That time I have the lines right. And he's going to be taken down right on the 25. That's a first down for the Cowboys. Or check that. That wasn't Epps. That was Carl Caldwell on the run. Well, I was only off by 3.
Hey, everybody gets
because Epps is 3-0 and this was just 0. So
everybody getting involved in the run game now. Caldwell excitedly coming up after that. He's hungry. I think he wants a couple more handoffs to him here this time.
Well, he's still in there. Josh Murray waiting for the play clock to wind down a little bit, trying to use as much of the clock as he can. Snap, give to Caldwell. He heads straight up the middle, across the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Now the offensive line for the Cowboys is blowing some big holes open for the running backs.
At this point, the Bulls have their backs against the ropes, and Cowboys offensive line more than happy to oblige the
Choo Choo brothers are chewing. They got some steam up in the locomotive and they're going. Stoney West and Chris Gardner, and Gardner comes out of the huddle. I'm going choo choo, and their Cowboys are pretty fired up. Now it's Epps in the backfield along with Murray. And he's waiting. There's still 14 seconds left on the play clock. He's telling them, guys, just relax. We're going to let that run down a little bit. Snap it when it's on about 3. They're down to 5 seconds now. And the snap was at 3. Pass over the middle, complete. And into the end zone. Now, was he touched while he was on the ground? He went in for a sliding catch. That was DeAndre Houston on the catch. Evidently, he was touched while down on the ground. But he did complete the pass, and it's on the 2-yard line. First down, Cowboys. First and goal at the 2.
And, once this offense gets running, once it starts figuring it out, it's hard to stop them. And that's what we've seen on this drive. Just play after play, picking apart this fatigued Northland defense as we approach the end of this game.
And it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. Caldwell back into the backfield. How much do you want to bet they're going to try and get Caldwell a touchdown on this play?
Hey, might as well let everybody touch.
First and goal from the 2. Handoff to Caldwell. We have whistles blowing and false start is the call against the Cowboys. So it's going to go back to the 7-yard line. 5:09 to go.
First and goal, 7.
So it's first down at the 7-yard line. Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. Caldwell in the backfield with Murray at quarterback. Slots on both sides. Murray with the give to Caldwell, looking for a hole. He finds one. He crossed the 5 down to about the 2-yard line, so he got the penalty back.
Nice little hesitation by Caldwell just to kind of find where he wanted to go, take it over to the right side. Nice 5-yard pickup.
So the Cowboys pick up 5. We have second and goal from the 3-yard line is where they have it marked.
A weird little techno remix of Don't Stop Believing, eh?
That they're playing on the PA system? Yeah.
Discotheque night here at Carson Park, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm waiting for the big mirror ball to come down over the field.
Got your roller skates ready?
Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. Second and goal from the 3. The give on the jet sweep dropped, but he picks it up and rolls back to the right, looking downfield. And he gets taken down at the 10-yard line. It was Devon Williams on the carry and taken down at the 10, so that's a loss of about 7 yards on the play. That play just broke up as soon as they tried to run that jet sweep, and it wasn't there.
Great awareness to pick it up, though, and keep it, that moving forward still lost the yardage, but good job taking his time to try and find his way back to at least some semblance of not a lot of negative yardage anyway.
And still a doable play here. Third and goal from the 10. Snap, give straight up the middle. It gets down to about the 5-yard line. And let's see, we have a different back in there again, I think. Unless that was Epps. Nope, it wasn't.
81.
As the running back,
81.
Benjamin Rockwood.
Bernie Vincent, I think, was... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the Northland Bulls.
Ben Rockwood. Well, I told you those rosters look very similar.
A lot of North, and that's all very similar.
All right, Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage. We've got Jesse Gee in the backfield, and a give to Gee. No, Murray kept it himself. Heading for the pylon on the left side, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Josh Murray takes it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown, making the score Cowboys 32 and the Bulls 7.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Murray's third touchdown of the night. What a fantastic evening for him to go out there, take over as quarterback when they needed him to, and really do a great job of just being the field general out there.
And although he did a lot on his feet, or with his running abilities, he's not afraid to throw the ball, and he made some pretty good passes tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's good to see that we've got somebody here that if you need him to step up and be the next man up.
He came out on that play limping a little bit. Hooper with the ball, and Dan Hooper, and again the ball ended up on the ground.
Did they butter his gloves before this game?
I think so. So the score remains Cowboys 32, Bulls 7, 2:12 to go in the game, and you're listening to Cowboy Football on the
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Webcasting
No,
Network.
what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Come and check out the $10 lunch specials at 44 North in Altoona. Don't forget, happy hours Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and Monday through Thursday 10 until 12. Also, their famous Sunday through Friday Power Hour when you can enjoy $1 select drafts from 5 until 6. That's 44 North, 1488 Front Porch Place across from Woodman's in Altoona.
And we're back at Carson Park, where the Cowboys have opened up a 32-7 lead over the Northland Bulls. Cowboys kind of establishing themselves, saying, hey, you know what? We're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, and it certainly showed it tonight with just how good this defense has stood up to this Northland Bulls offense. Former MVP Schreiner, non-existent in this game pretty much with how well they've handled him.
Short kickoff comes out at the 40-yard line where it's received by Devin Alger of the Bulls, and he gets it out to the 43, and there was a whole wall of Cowboys coming at him, and I think discretion was the better part of valor. He just kind of said, yeah, I'm going down here.
Ended up being kind of a nice night out here. You know, the clouds.
It looked like it was going to rain. It hasn't. There's still patches of blue that are floating on through, and it's a beautiful night for football. Both evenings we've had here at Carson Park this season have been wonderful nights for football. Fans, make sure you get out here. This is your football team, and they're worth coming to see. Now the Bulls are up at the line of scrimmage. Schreiner at quarterback. He takes a snap, drops straight back, looks downfield, and almost intercepted and incomplete. Pass was intended for Devin Alger. Coverage on the play by Darren Mackey, and Mackey almost had an interception on that.
Yeah, it would have been his second of the night. Just, I guess one thing I didn't really notice before was how long Mackey's arms are. He's got a pretty good wingspan, which in the defensive backfield can definitely help out. And we saw it on display there as he stretched out to make that play.
That's a good note for the fans to remember. If you're ever buying 50-50 tickets, you can get a lot of tickets for a wingspan. Get Darren Mackey to do your wingspan for you get a lot more tickets. The snap to Schreiner, he drops straight back, looks out to the right side, pass complete. And that's Griffin gets taken down at about the 50-yard line. That's where they're going to mark it, right at the 50. Travis Griffin on the reception.
2-minute warning.
And that's going to bring up the 2-minute warning with the score. The Cowboys 32, Northland Bulls 7. You're listening to Cowboy
I'm probably
Football
okay to have one more drink before I drive home.
Broadcasting Network.
I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And we're back at Carson Park during this 2-minute warning as the Bulls come up to the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes to go in this one. Cowboys on their way to a 2-1 record as they lead the Bulls 32-7. Schreiner has the Bulls at the line of scrimmage. Slot receivers on both sides. Van Leer Perry in the backfield. Snap. Schreiner drops straight back. Looks downfield and passes incomplete. He overthrew Mike Rodriguez.
Fourth down and 2.
Pick who you want to say who covered that. He threw it to about,
There were about
three Cowboys.
Yeah, 3 Cowboys down there, and he did have a receiver kind of in the area, but it went incomplete. Rodriguez was down there as well, but there were a lot of Cowboys. Now into the game for the Bulls is Kareem McDuffie. Van Leer Perry is out. 4th down and 2 yards to go from the 50-yard line for the Bulls. Snap to Schreiner, keeps it himself, goes straight up the middle, and gets down to the Cowboy 45-yard line. That's good enough for a Bulls first down.
Something you got to be careful of as a quarterback, and we saw that here, is Schreiner laying out, diving head first into the pile. I'm sure as soon as he did that, coach gritting his teeth a little bit, saying, "Oh, don't put yourself on the line like that, bud."
Not especially in a game that has nothing to do with their league standings. The Northland Bulls are part of that Northern Elite Football League, and a league that shrunk in numbers a little since last year, but still has some very quality teams in it, and the Bulls hoping to make some noise in that league. 1st and 10 for the Bulls. Cowboys, of course, in the Champions Amateur Football League, and they're hoping to make a lot of noise this year. And the way they've been playing so far, they may do exactly that. Even that game against the St. Paul Pioneers where the score wasn't real pretty, defensively they played pretty well. They just kept doing awful things to themselves.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers in that game, a lot of penalties, and really locked down on that in this game.
Schreiner looking downfield, has a receiver. This is Sky. He's at the 35, but dances back to the 40, gave up yards, and the Cowboys were right there. They kind of had him corralled, and he kept trying to find a way to get around, and he very easily could have given up a first down and ended up losing 5 yards, 2nd down 5. But he was right down about the 35-yard line and then danced backwards. Schreiner drops straight back to throw. Looking down over the middle, he's got his receiver, but he dropped the ball. Mike Rodriguez, the pass was a little bit behind him. Rodriguez had to twist around, and he got his hands on it, but it was incomplete. 3rd and 5.
And a good, quick, no-huddle snap by the Bulls really did have the Cowboys out of position there. Just couldn't cash in on that defensive backfield confusion.
So 3rd and 5 from the Cowboy 40-yard line. Schreiner brings the Bulls up to the line of scrimmage. Snap and dropping straight back. Swing pass out to the outside, and taken down at the 40-yard line is Kareem McDuffie.
Number 35, David Dix, with a great open field tackle. I mean, when you're one-on-one against a running back, you never know what kind of moves they're going to pull, but went low, wrapped up, and made a great open field play.
McDuffie still in the backfield. Schreiner takes the snap, looking downfield. He's got a receiver who drops the ball. A lot of drop passes now by the Bulls. Devin Alger is the intended receiver. He was right about at the 35-yard line, and that would have been very close to a first down. And the ball goes over on downs for the Cowboys. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 40. I suspect we'll see some other players getting their uniforms dirty now. Daniel Hooper in at quarterback.
Who's had 2 bobbled snaps.
Yeah, the snap to Hooper is kind of exciting. There's 39 seconds left in the game, so my guess is this is going to be take a knee time. The Bulls have 1 timeout left, so they really could just take a knee. My guess is the Bulls, even if the Cowboys take a knee, they won't stop the clock. It's kind of a standard formation, though, for the Cowboys. Now Hooper goes up under center. And we have a delay of game called on the Cowboys, and Hooper's going, what's going on here? And I think they probably called victory formation, and Hooper wasn't quite sure what they had in mind. So the ball goes back 5 yards. The sticks should not have moved, but it's not going to matter. Now they're in victory formation. There's a snap, and Hooper takes a knee. And the clocks are running, and they shouldn't have to run another play unless the Bulls call timeout. And they are not going to call timeout. So the final score of tonight's game is going to be the Cowboys 32, the Northland Bulls 7. We're going to have a bunch of information for you in the post-game show on Cowboy Roundup. And we'll have that for you coming up in just a minute. But you've been listening to Cowboy Football on the...
In addition to providing ice for Cowboy games, American Ice has worked with events like the Baldwin Junebug Days, Menominee Freedom Fest, the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, and Country Fest to keep drinks cool and refreshing. So for your event, remember, no one does events better than American Ice. Since 1980, American Ice has been stocking ice for events just like yours. That's American Ice, 2234 Sunset Drive, Eau Claire.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Cowboy Football, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Cowboys. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Cowboy Roundup, and a look back at today's game.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Okay, Jimmy, we just need to pick up some light bulbs.
Which ones are we supposed to buy, Grandpa?
Well, we can save money by using an energy-saving incandescent CFL or LED.
How about this bulb?
We need to replace a 60-watt bulb. That one is 800 lumens, so it should do the trick.
Lumens?
Lumens tell us how bright the light is. The more lumens, the brighter the bulb.
You know, Grandpa, you're pretty bright yourself.
Lumens, the new way to shop for light. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Time now for Cowboy Roundup, with a wrap-up of today's Northern Light Cowboys game. And now, back to the stadium.
Rick Olson and Christopher Sturz back here at Carson Park, where the Northern Light Cowboys have just knocked off the Northland Bulls by a score of 32-7. And with us in the booth right now is Coach Bill Ham, coaches the offensive and defensive line coach. And let's talk a little about that defensive line coach. That defensive line basically pitched a shutout. The only score the Bulls put up was when they had a pick six.
Yep.
So the defense did not give up any points. You got to be really proud of that.
It's been 2 weeks in a row now we've done that. That's how it's happened, is that, you know, my defensive line has shut everybody out, and I'm really proud of them for what they've done so far this year.
We were commenting throughout the game that the defense's ability to stop the run, especially up the middle with Vic Brady and Tristan Payton, are just, I mean, they are two stone walls right up there, and nobody's getting anywhere. And then when they try to run outside, everybody's flowing to the ball, and they're getting nailed in the backfield.
Yep, it's one word, gang tackle. Everybody's getting to the ball. With Tristan and Vic in that wall, they know they can't go to the inside, so they'll try to bounce out. And we taught them that gang tackle every time, and that's what they've been doing. We made a lot of adjustments, in the last couple of games, from the first game we had to now, to where everybody's on the ball and they know exactly where they're flowing and exactly where they're going.
But even in that first game, the defense played pretty well when you consider that the Pioneers had the ball in great field position because the offense made some critical mistakes at critical times. And so even with that, the defense was able to at least keep the Cowboys in the game. And and that really helped. And although you ended up on the short end of that one, these last 2 weeks have shown what you're really capable of doing.
Yes, sir. It sure has. And that's the thing is that the first game that came out, it's first game of the year. It's always kind of touch and go and see what you're having. The defense played great, but they're backs against the wall every time. Like you said, there's 8 turnovers, and 4 of those were touchdowns.
Right now, you've also got to be pretty happy because tonight the offense was able to mount some serious drives and chew up a lot of clock, and it also kept your defensive boys off the field and allowed them to get well rested. So when they were called on, when the Bulls were trying to make a comeback late in the game, your guys were rested and ready to repel that comeback.
We were ready to go. They were ready, ready. They wanted out there so bad. But with our offensive line, like you said, we're running the ball, and my Hogs are always hungry for the offensive run. They love that.
And 4th and short is not a guaranteed first down for an opponent against you guys.
No, it sure isn't. I mean, we got Tristan and Vic in there. Plus, you've got the 2 DNs, either whether it be John Good or Kellen Lager and Bortles, or you've got Deshaun in there, or a couple other guys we throw in there. They come in there and they're nasty with it.
And then you have a set of linebackers that are flowing all over the place. Prill is just an animal,
yes.
And he is so much fun to watch because he really is very active and he's everywhere. So this team's a lot of fun to watch.
It is, and that's why I got fans of my own out there actually. Being a semi-pro or a retired semi-pro player, when I bring fans to the game to watch the game, even my boss is here tonight, and they're like, "Wow, this is a really fun game to watch."
This is a fun team to watch, and I'm hoping the city of Eau Claire or the fans in Eau Claire can embrace this team like they deserve, because I think they're going to bring some pride to the Eau Claire area.
Yes.
Well, Coach Bill Ham, it's been really nice having you up here. Congratulations on a big win over the Northland Bulls, one of the better teams in the Northern Elite Football League, and you guys just absolutely dominated them. The defense just totally shut them down.
Yes, sir. Sure did.
You have a great evening, Coach, and we'll see you next week down in La Crosse. And we're going to be back, Christopher and I will be back with a look at the statistics and a brief recap. You've been listening to the Cowboy Roundup.
Stop into Wagner's Lanes and the Complex for your one-stop shop for fun. You'll find volleyball, bowling, giant Jenga, bags, and so much more. Wagner's Lanes and the Complex features happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and a weekend happy hour from 10 until 12. That's Wagner's Lanes and the Complex, 2159 Brackett Avenue in Eau Claire.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
And we're back at Carson Park. Rick Olson along with Christopher Sturz, and 32-7 Cowboys over the Northland Bulls, moving the Cowboy record to 2 wins and 1 loss on the season. And Christopher, let's take a look at those statistics. Do they bear out what we thought they might?
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are who they thought we were, to quote the late Denny Green. You look at just some team statistics here. 17 first downs for the Cowboys to 10 for the Bulls. Total yards net rushing 223 yards rushing for the Cowboys. Of course, a lot of those were on those 10-yard pickups on the first handoff of the match. Of the series, excuse me. Total net yards ended up being 221 yards for the Cowboys to 68 net yards for the Bulls. Unreal just how much that shows how the Cowboys were able to get in there and disrupt and cause those tackles for losses against the Bulls. Unreal what that defense was able to do tonight. Limiting the turnovers here for the Cowboys. There was one turnover for the Cowboys tonight, a couple of lost balls, but they were able to grab those. Third down conversions, 1 of 9 for the Cowboys. Not something you'd like to see, but they were able to overcome that and still get the win. So fantastic, just all-out dominating performance by the Cowboys tonight on defense, and nothing but a rushing clinic for the Cowboys tonight.
And an interesting point on those third down conversions at 1 of 9, many of those resulted in a fourth down conversion then, where they didn't make it on third and they go for it on fourth and they ended up with the first down anyway. So yes, it was 1 of 9, but how many drives were extended as a result of the last play in a series? And I think the Cowboys probably did pretty well with that one. But they moved the ball up and down the field. They didn't allow the Bulls to move the ball up and down the field, and usually that's a prescription for victory, and that's what the Cowboys got tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and a pretty, a victory with an exclamation point, really, is how I would describe this. Such a fantastic, fun team to watch, especially when everything's firing on all cylinders like they were clearly tonight.
And who do we have for leading rushers tonight for the Cowboys?
We've got Josh Murray had 16 attempts for 98 yards. Sam Epps had 11 carries for 38 yards. Ujay Wilkerson, 9 for 53. Josh Murray, though, 2 rushing touchdowns. Amazing to just see him step into that role and take over and lead this team to a win tonight.
Well, Christopher, Cowboys are now 2-1. We'll be down in La Crosse. Well, you won't be in La Crosse. John Fellins will be sitting in your seat down there, but we will have the game against the River City Rough Riders. That'll be the 4th game in a row against teams that played last season in the Northern Elite Football League. The Bulls are still in that league. The Pioneers are still in that league. The Force, who the Cowboys beat last week, have moved to a new league, and the Rough Riders are also in the Champions Amateur Football League like the Cowboys, and so this will be the first conference game or league game for the Cowboys next week down in La Crosse. And then in 2 weeks, depending on, you've got some graduation things going on.
We'll see what happens. You might not hear me.
We will have a game in 2 weeks on the 25th. It's just going to be who's sitting in the color commentary seat. That we'll have to wait and find out. But so thank you, Christopher. We will have you back here before too long, one way or another. And again, thank you also to Dan Petshaw for his help on the statistics. And once again, that final score, Cowboys 32, Northland Bulls 7. You've been listening to Cowboy Roundup on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey fans, don't forget you can catch live play-by-play coverage of each Northern Light Cowboys home game throughout the 2019 season simply by tuning your internet listening device to Northern Light Webcasting Network, that's all one word, .com. You can also listen to archive games. That's Northern Light Webcasting Network.com.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The Forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Cowboy Roundup, a wrap-up of today's Northern Light Cowboys game. You can catch Northern Light Cowboys games by tuning in on any one of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Sometimes nothing keeps me together.